Edmonton Sports Talk. My God, I loved it.
My name's Jay Milne. #Blue.
Our sports update deliverer, the Coon.
I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up today.
You know what, Reid?
You might be honest.
All right, here's what's going on in the Nasty Cup.
Now, I love that song. That's the Heavies, right? Local band, buddies of yours, Jay Milne. Love that song to start off the show every day. Though on this day, I just have this gentle piano music in my head all afternoon long because we've been watching the Masters, and whenever they go to the break, it's like, I can't remember what that song has a title, but it has that gentle piano music as we've been following the Masters all day long. Justin Rose on fire. He is 8 under through 16 holes. Scheffler and Canadian Corey Connors are both in the clubhouse, 4 under 68. But Justin Rose just having an amazing opening round at Augusta. As the show begins, I have a little bit of breaking Oilers news. Olivier Rodrigue has been loaned to Bakersfield. So we can assume Stuart Skinner will dress tomorrow. Maybe it doesn't mean he's going to start, but it means he will dress tomorrow. And Cam Dineen has been recalled on an emergency basis. Like we speculated with Tom and Hernan last night that he might be the guy to come up if Matthias Ekholm isn't all of a sudden ready to play, which apparently he's not going to be. So, and Walman's not going to play tomorrow. That was announced by Chris Knobloch after the game last night. So Rodrigue back to the Condors, and Cam Dineen, defenseman, called up. So that likely means tomorrow no Ekholm. And no Walman, as the Oilers have 4 games left in the regular season. They are 1 point away from clinching a playoff spot. That's better than the 4 it was yesterday. So much, much more likely that they're going to clinch.
You okay?
Oh, I'm fine. I was never not okay. I actually never said that they weren't going to clinch.
This is correct.
I just presented a path that wasn't impossible for them to not clinch, especially if they didn't get healthy and or play better. So that's not as if they've been playing bad. McDavid, fantastic last night as the Oilers beat the St. Louis Blues. We have a lot to talk about from this game, Jay. First of all, you watched with, what was it, a couple buddies?
Yeah.
And was it worth it? Did everybody stay awake for the entire game?
Oh, yeah. It was great.
I feel like I'm not insulting your stamina or your ability to party hardy.
Yeah.
It just was a late game. It was a weeknight. You are all grown men who had to get up this morning and work and have dad and or husband responsibilities.
Yeah, Connor Brown was a popular man in our house. Let's put it that way.
Bet he was.
Yeah. And I'm sure here at EST Studios as well, as it saved Hernan and Tom from having to go to overtime and extend into the night.
I felt, and it's tell you what, if people were at the game last night, they can tell me, because I don't sit in the crowd, obviously. I'm on media level. But it did feel like the energy with the crowd was a little different. Was there not a wave in the second period?
Yeah, way too early.
Yeah,
like it was.
Was the wave in the second period? And I thought, man, people are going to be furious. I think it was like 2-1 Oilers, and people were doing the wave.
Yeah.
Like if it's 2-1 Oilers with a minute left, we've had people get upset about the wave. It was 2-1 Oilers, I don't know, second half of the second period, and people were doing the wave. And I felt, again, this is just sort of my informal observation, I felt that there were more empty seats than usual for the third period. I think some people might have had to go after the second period.
It's late. I mean, what do you... The second period ended after 10 o'clock. Right? I mean...
Well, yeah, it would have. Yeah, I didn't even look, but...
That's late. But those that stayed there, we're in for a treat.
Well, I'll say this, and Jay, as you know, I always try to think about this sometimes because, you know, Oilers fans are very invested, very passionate about the team. But sometimes I just try to think, okay, if I were just watching this game and didn't have this job and didn't have to talk to people who were going to be very emotional about the outcome, what would I think? I would think that was a hell of a game to watch.
Sure it was.
You had one of the most talented players in the league come back from injury and shine. You had breakaway chances. You had good saves. You had nice goals. You had
a goaltender freak out.
And you had a goalie freak out.
Freak out.
Against a guy who's had a lot of players freak out against him and who somehow freaks out himself, quite frankly.
It's quite nice.
He had a fight involving the hometown player and a guy who used to be a hometown player, former Royal King Jake Neighbors. What do you think of that? Neighbors getting in there with Perry.
I think he felt obligated. I think that's one of those ones where it's just like, hey, I'm the closest guy. He just got attacked by the goalie who freaked out. If I don't do something, I'm at jeopardy of being accused of not standing up for my goaltender.
Right.
And it was really just a pillow fight.
I think they were already exhausted.
I think so. They were worn out. Corey Perry wanted a piece of Binnington.
I think everybody in the building did at that point.
I think so too.
Like, I think he could have pulled somebody out of the crowd.
And you know what? As psycho as Binnington was in that moment, he probably would have fought
a fan in that moment.
Throw a kid on the ice. He'll take the kid down.
But it was a very exciting game. But I did feel as if the energy in the crowd wasn't quite at the level that it used to be. And I really think that was the time of the game. Now, I'm going to bring this up again because it is a topic. Like we joke about it, but the late games are a topic and are a frustration for fans. And I'll remind everybody again, it's all television. In this case, the game was on TNT in the States. Was it the Flyers and Rangers who were on beforehand? I think that game was 8-5, right? There were some high-scoring games yesterday. There were some exciting finishes like the one we had, like Calgary and Anaheim. Both of those went the Oilers' way. But yeah, they and I like, here's the thing. Whenever we bring that up, people say, well, but Reid, how can they say it's for TV when that game started at 10:22 Eastern? What can I tell you? They still sooner have live sports on that late than a replay of something else. And the counter to that, it would be, well, in the Central, well, I guess in the Central it was still late, but in the Mountain and the Pacific, which has a lot of people and a lot of hockey fans, it was perfectly reasonable to watch that game on television. So I get it, everybody. I think we're fighting a battle that is unwinnable.
Oh, 100%.
TV, well, I mean, how many billions of dollars is the Rogers deal upcoming? Like, TV makes decisions.
Yeah. $11 billion worth.
Right. So
B with a B.
So that's why that game started that late. But it was a pretty fun game. If you were at the game, you can tell us if you sensed the energy was a little different. We're going to have a pretty fun off-topic topic coming up in a couple of minutes as well. Plenty of Oilers discussion. We'll keep you updated on the Masters. There's a lip out on number. No, what number was that?
That's Wyndham Clark.
Oh, that's Wyndham Clark. We'll save him for later, maybe.
Should we? Yeah.
No, we don't. Well, do we? No, you can say what you think.
I just think it's the most pompous golf name I've ever heard in my life. Wyndham Clark.
Do you know someone named Wyndham? Is your name Wyndham?
If there's a golf name out there, that's it. I just think of it. Wyndham Clark here for my tea time. I know that's totally unfair to Wyndham Clark. He's a great person, I'm sure.
US Open
champ. But he
was
done no favors by his parents by naming him Wyndham.
Oh, poor Wyndham Clark. But if you have the name Wyndham Clark, you better either grow up to be a pro golfer or like a philosophy professor. You know, here's the latest behavioral study from Oxford's Wyndham Clark. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's a good name for a prof or for a guy who would do a behavioral study, have a PhD, or you better be a pro golfer. Rose off the, what do they call that? The pine straw on 17.
Yes.
Just short of the green. So he'll have to get an up and down for par. McIlroy, by the way, is putting for eagle on the par 5 13th. He is aiming about 14 feet right of the hole.
Reid, have you found that this year's coverage they're giving, I don't know if it's the cameras, the quality of the cameras, or just the angles they're set up on. I feel like, certainly for me, I'm getting more of a sense of the undulations on the greens and the elevation changes throughout the course, more so than I recall.
Yeah, I don't know, or if we're just watching it a little more,
maybe with more intent
than we have in the past. I mean, you always would have been working.
Well,
in your store. That's just be so
sure.
Or
we'll call it working.
Sure, call it working. But we've noted a few times. Just look at how high or below or above his feet the ball is on this approach shot. And yeah, it's always fun seeing the putts where they almost have their back to the hole, and then you realize no, that's where they got to aim. You can get in touch. The River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. That's how you text 780-218-9999. River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week. That is from 2 to 5 p.m. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're on that stream, give us the thumbs up. You can jump into the nasty chat and converse with us, but more importantly with each other. I know people always have fun there. Give us the thumbs up. Don't forget to click away at that thumbs up button. And you can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com, Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. And if you're on the iHeartRadio app, on the TuneIn Radio app, we thank you for that. And we just ask if someone's asking about Edmonton Sports Talk or what happened to the guys at 1260 or why isn't Reid on Ched anymore, just say, hey, here's this app. One click, you're listening to them. That's it. Make it a preference, a favorite, or whatever you do on those apps, and away you go.
You can also tell them in the form of a limerick.
You could leave a non-threatening sticky note on their computer at work.
We've got an early limerick that came in from Mark from Hope.
Oh, wow.
Lunch at Kingsway Mall to buy EST shirt. They were sold out. Boy, that hurt.
Oh.
Return to work sad. Wait, I can't be mad. I'll listen to Reid and Jay. My end of day dessert.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Well done.
So that is, Mark from Hope. Hope is in BC, is it not?
I believe so.
But he clearly is in Edmonton now.
Maybe there's a neighborhood called Hope in Edmonton.
Oh, I don't think there is. Or maybe there's a Kingsway in Hope. No, but they wouldn't have EST shirts there. He wouldn't be looking for them.
Anyways, it would appear as though the EST shirts are sold out.
They're very popular. I don't even have one of the new
780
ones yet.
Kingsway.
I don't even have one yet.
Tyler and Twilliger also, to answer your question about the crowd last night, he says, having been there last night was an unusual amount of youth and kids. They're far more than usual, and the crowd thinned out throughout the third for sure. Great energy throughout, choosing to ignore the wave.
What do people have against the wave?
Oh, it's a superstitious thing. Like, don't do it.
Well, was it not the other team scored while the Oilers fans were doing a wave this year, late in the third? Was that the thing? Was that?
Yeah, I think it comes down to if it's a tight game, there's no room for the wave
for celebration.
It's not. Yeah, because it's a joyous, fun thing,
right?
But if you're in a 2-1 game or a 3-2 game, nearing the end of the second, it might not be the time.
It should be a 3-goal lead with a minute left because no one ever comes back from that.
Ooh, too early.
Well. What, some Dallas fans going to be offended?
You never know.
Brett Hall's going to post in the nasty chat.
I'd love it.
That's enough, guys. Jasmine says the audacity to have the name Wyndham Clark and spell it with a Y. GTFO. I think that's the new Gran Turismo game. Well, I think if you are going to name your kid Wyndham, you better go all in and spell it with a Y. 2 Ys. WYNDHYM.
Oh,
Wyndham.
Wyndham, come here.
I've never met somebody named Wyndham, so I feel like we can. I mean, we might be offending somebody by mocking that name, but nobody sent anything like, guys, my name is Wyndham. Enough.
Yeah, if your name is Wyndham, I apologize, but I also want to meet you. I want to know more about you.
I want to know more about your parents and their naming conventions. Well, maybe he's a breezy pig.
Were you always supposed to be Reid?
I don't know, actually. I don't know what the other options were.
Did your parents... I thought at some point I heard... Must have obviously been from my parents, but I think there was another name.
Instead of Jason?
Yeah. I don't know.
And we call you Jay. Sometimes I guess I call you Jason quite a bit.
You do, yeah. Jay's just easier.
Yeah. Did you care when you were a kid, or did they call you Jay or Jason? Or do they now?
I had a lot of nicknames growing up.
Okay.
It was not usually... my dad called me Skippy.
Just because?
think it was Skippy. That was the little bunny rabbit from Robin Hood.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was, so my grandpa was James Roy, but he went by Jim. My dad is James Robert, and he goes by Bob, and I'm James Reid. So it was a James, and I think my great-grandfather was James, might have been Rudyard or something like that. So there was a 4-generation tradition of naming the firstborn son James and then an R name, but it wasn't that you always went by the R name.
So we've been missing out this whole time on calling you J.R. Wilkins.
Well, that was kind of what my dad went by professionally, when he was the high school principal. He had J.R. Wilkins on his door.
Did he?
Yeah,
I think J.R. is badass.
fair enough.
I like
J.R. And he does his painting for Art Walk. Like he has little business cards made up, and he has J.R. Wilkins on those.
Why don't you go by J.R. Jr.? Junior?
I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna have to dig in.
Never did. Just never did. So, but I don't know. I guess you could say, well, why didn't it alternate? And then I was James after my grandfather. But on the other side of the family, there was a cousin about 5 years older than me named James. So then it was, well, let's use the R name for Reid. I don't know if other names were really, what, if any, other names were seriously considered for me. Probably some. I know my parents were just like, okay, Reid, yeah, we're done. I don't know what it would have been if I would have been a girl. I don't know. I've never asked.
I would lean into JR. I think that's cool.
I'm not going by anything else now.
Well, I think in this stage of your life, it's probably too late to forego and change your name. But I think, on the bra scale, JR is pretty cool.
I guess if I ever wrote a book or something, I could be J.R. Wilkins.
J.R. Wilkins.
No one would know the difference, right? 780-218-9999 is the River Caribbean Resort and Casino inbox. Jay and I are coming to you from the Banquet Studio. Craving a late night snack? Check out the Banquet's new late night happy hour menu, Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till close. Enjoy favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or the Banquet Burger at happy hour prices. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard. All right, 20 after 3. If you are taking us in on YouTube, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, get on that for sure. And click that little thumbs up button. We've been having some good numbers with that this week, so let's get off and running with that. We'll talk about Victor Arvidsson, Jeff Skinner, Jordan Binnington, Corey Perry, goaltenders going to the penalty box. Randy Hahn, Edmonton native, San Jose Sharks play-by-play voice. He's going to join us as well. Here comes the Coob with the sports update.
The Oilers have loaned Olivier Rodrigue to the AHL while recalling Cam Dineen on an emergency basis. And Dineen has appeared in one contest for the Oilers, playing nearly 15 minutes March 6th against the Habs. Pittsburgh's general manager Kyle Dubas will serve as Canada's general manager for next month's IIHF World Championship, which gets underway May 9th. And Nathan McKinnon will sit out for the Avs tonight with an undisclosed injury against the Canucks. 9 other games around the league. Winnipeg visits Dallas. The Panthers battle the Red Wings, and the Rangers and Islanders face off on Long Island. Right now, it's scoreless in the bottom of the 5th inning between the Jays and Red Sox. Toronto looking to sweep their 4-game set. One other game is live. Rockies and Brewers are tied at 2 in the bottom of the 8th. In the association, there's 5 games, including the Pelicans meeting the Bucks. New Orleans hitting the court in Milwaukee, while the Hawks tip off with the Nets. And Canadian Corey Connors is in a 2-way tie for second spot at the Masters at just 4 under through 18 holes played and through 16 holes of his own. Justin Rose holds first place at 8 under par. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and surrounding areas since '93. They have doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, they got plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff today at Windsor Plywood Leduc. We have a brief intermission before the Reid Wilkins Show keeps rolling on. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Two guys and a goalie.
Great observation with Nurse on that scrum. I was actually surprised at how fast the D got in there. The second Binnington threw that punch, they were flying in. They were just, there was no hesitation. And I love that. Like, there's a penalty, and the face-off might come outside the zone, but you sense danger, and it's just go. And that was great testament to Nurse's game, and it was one of my favorite Darnell Nurse's play.
Two guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Spin to win Fridays at the Banquet. Every Friday, spin the wheel for a chance to win big and save on your bill. It's that easy. Spin, win, and save. Don't miss out. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Must you click? Click. Must you click? Click, click. Click, click, click. Must you click? Please click.
Sometimes I can't believe that actually exists. That's okay. VR Montenegro reminding us in the nasty chat, you want people to click the thumbs up? You know what we want. I forgot. Yes, the remix or the original or whatever. So we've played it. So now there should be a surge in thumbs up on the YouTube stream. Was that Cantlay that had his ball roll back into the water on 15?
Yeah, there's been a couple of those here. Matsuyama, did you see that? He had about a 90-yard approach shot, bounced it 3 feet in front of the pin, hit the pin, and then back into the water. Like, it was such a perfect shot.
Well, that's where Sergio the year at when he was the defending champ hit like 4 in the water, and they all just kept spinning back. And that's the thing. We were talking last week, and I couldn't find the article. But anyway, it was a few years ago. Somebody wrote an article. Could you break, I don't know if it was break par or break 100 at Augusta, playing every hole from 100 yards out?
Yeah, not a chance.
Not a chance. And the premise of this thought experiment, if you want to call it that, was that par doesn't change, right? So on a par 3, you're playing from 100 yards out, but the par 5s stay par 5s, even though you're 100 yards out. So here's the thing. On the 15th, let's say I'm having a great day, and I know that I can hit a wedge exactly 100 yards. So big deal. On that hole, it would land beside the pin and roll back into the water. So then I got to hit again, and now I'm hitting 3. Right? So,
yeah, very tough.
And as we've seen, the putting on these greens would be incomprehensible to golfers of our caliber. Because how long would it take to figure out the speed? A lifetime?
Like 9 days?
Yeah, like we'd have to
straight
do
putting.
Yeah, that's a good point. By about if we played a round a day from 100 yards out for 2 weeks, maybe by the end of the second week, we'd be like, oh, okay, I just barely have to tap this one.
It's incredible.
So anyway, Matsuyama putting for bogey on the par 5 13th. And he was aiming probably 3 feet right of the hole, and he missed to the right side. So I guess he aimed a little too far. Diggs NWT in the Nasty Chat says the washed out delayed penalty to me is one of the worst rules in the NHL. I do not understand what the justification is to wipe out a delayed penalty after a goal is scored. Makes no sense. That's a good question. The foul has still been committed. I think the argument would be that if you have time to pull your goaltender, then you kind of are getting a power play 6-on-5 instead of 5-on-4 with skaters. So the Oilers got one last night, right? So they scored basically with an extra man on the ice.
Have a great trip, Hernan.
See you, Hernan.
Be safe.
See you soon. Doesn't count as a power play goal, but you did score with the man advantage. But that's a fair comment. You know, you slash me across the ankle. My team scores 2 seconds later. Oh, you know what, Jay? Keep playing.
Well, but what's the worst thing? Maybe not the worst thing, but what's the worst outcome of a penalty kill, or the best outcome of a power play?
Well, a goal.
A goal,
right.
So you're achieving that. So that should then null the opportunity to go up or be down shorthanded.
Right.
Because the goal has been achieved.
Yeah, I guess that's the argument. The team that committed the foul has been punished by being scored on.
Yes, they have.
So we don't want to give the team another chance to score. But I think the person who posted that would say, well, then don't commit penalties if you don't want to be scored on, whether it's with the 6-on-5 or with the 5-on-4. But yeah, that rule's been in place, well, my entire life. But it's a good question. All right, we're going to talk about a few Oilers related topics. Victor Arvidsson, Jeff Skinner, I think both playing better. I think promising going into the postseason. We're going to take a different angle on the Binnington Perry kerfuffle as we move along throughout the show as well. But we have our off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536.
So, my wife, it's her birthday today.
Excellent.
Happy birthday, April.
Happy birthday, April.
Well done. You did it.
What a loving husband you are.
Congrats. But she was out in the shop. This happened a little while ago. And we were both home. And she's standing there and she's, Jay, come here right now. And she's standing still, like don't move. I'm thinking, is she cornered by some sort of a wild animal in the shop? So I run over there. What's up? What's going on? Here her diamond from her wedding band had fallen out. And later, as we looked closely at it, there was good reason why it fell out. Like a few of the arms, the claws that hold the diamond in, they're no longer working.
Okay.
So the diamond fell out. So we're thinking, okay, we got to try find this thing. Looking around, this was during the day. Can't see anything. Looking everywhere she was. So we said, okay, well, screw this. We're gonna do this all day. And we're not gonna find it. Let's come out at night. So I Googled it. Apparently, it's better under a black light to try find diamonds. Well,
what else did you find?
Yeah, lots of things. Trust me. So we go out at night. We're flashing flashlights around. We're trying to find this, shimmer in the shop.
Okay.
Nothing there. We looked in there for probably 45 minutes.
This is needle in a haystack.
Very much
right.
so. Yeah.
But you knew it was probably...
Well, we knew it was somewhere.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a diamond.
But it's not like she was out shopping and it's like, well...
No.
Okay.
We knew.
You knew it was... Okay.
So we said, okay, it's not in the shop. We exhausted this search and rescue in the shop.
Okay.
Where else were you prior to coming to here? Well, I was in the barn. Okay, so we retraced the steps from the shop to the barn.
All right.
And my brother had come over and we're all flashlighting and it probably looked like quite a scene.
This is great.
And we're on our way to the barn. She just went into the barn, and we're flashing, and Jay! She found it. She found the diamond. Now, you have to understand, in our barn, the flooring in there, because horses are quite heavy, you can't just put,
right,
linoleum. It's all rail ties, like rails.
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah.
from trains, rail ties. But in between those rail ties, they're not perfectly tight. So those often fill with God knows what. But here she found it sitting right wedged in between the rail ties. And you wouldn't know to look at this thing, but she found the diamond, if you could believe it. So I took it in today. Actually, I took it to Paris Jewelers.
Okay.
They're going to get it all fixed up. He's been texting me. He's like, it's going to take a couple weeks, but we're going to get it all said and done. So I was telling you this story, and we came to the conclusion of because at that point when we found the diamond, I had already in my mind convinced myself, well, the diamond's gone. We're not going to find it. Whatever what are you going to do? You can't be upset about it. I mean, things happen, right? But what is something that you lost, or you were like, hey, I've given up hope on finding this? I mean, your kids with their cell phones and stuff like that you eventually found. I want to know. It doesn't have to necessarily be needle in the haystack. It can be something you find years later when you're maybe moving or changing out furniture, the things you find. I mean, I used to deliver furniture. And when you take old stuff out, you wouldn't believe what people had in their couches or under their couches.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. And you would find it while you were moving it out, or when you got it back to
No, we'd find it when we were moving it out, and we knew where to look. Couches can eat things, man. They really can, and there's a lot of hidden...
So you would check as a courtesy for people?
Yes, we'd look.
Okay.
And you'd find remotes, you'd find cell phones, you'd find earbuds, lots of foods. Tons of chips.
Oh, like old, crumbs and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, quite disgusting.
Would you eat the chips?
I had a few. But that's the off-topic topic. What have you found? It's something you gave up wanting to find or looking for, but then you eventually found. It's a feel-good story.
Yeah, that's a good... I was struggling to remember something, because certainly there's been stuff I found, but I can't remember a circumstance in which I found something that I sort of was not longing for, but something of value to me, Like, certainly there's things especially when I moved a couple of years ago, where it's like, oh, that's where that is. But having said that, if I hadn't found it, I wouldn't have cared. It was just more of a reminder, oh, I once owned this and interacted with it or used it. But I'm trying to think, I don't know if I can think of anything along the lines of, the diamond from a ring or something where it's like, man, oh man, I can't believe.
Or it could be as simple as, because apparently this is quite common, where somebody will lose a ring or a piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
That, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
But it's like you too, they still haven't found what they're looking for.
That's a good point. We're getting a couple of very funny comments in the nasty chat that are related to the topic, though not direct answers to the topic. Mex, who's very clever, says, it's great that you guys found the diamond in the barn. It proves you're in a stable relationship. And Unfortunate Son says, did you find a track and field cartridge for NES, though? That would have been incredible.
That would have been.
If you're searching the barn and you all of a sudden they start exclaiming something, and April's like, did you find the diamond? And you're like, oh, what are you holding there, Jay?
No.
Oh, just a NES cartridge for track and field. One of the horses must have been playing. That is a really good topic, though. I think we're going to get good with something that tell us a story when you found something that you thought was lost. So Jay using the example of the diamond that basically fell out of a now older wedding ring, I guess.
Yeah, this would have. Yeah, I mean, this year we'll be married 18 years.
Right. So stuff breaks down. Well, not your relationship.
No,
physical stuff
stronger,
can break down. Yeah. You don't need the ring to prove you're in love.
Never loved each other more.
You should have just said that.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah.
Babe, you don't need that ring, baby.
I think my love is more valuable than a diamond, April.
Meanwhile,
I'm right here.
My pocketbook's slapping me in the face. You idiot! Get the diamond!
All right. So is it fixed now or in the process of being fixed?
Paris Jewelers has it. It is in their hands.
And they must do stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, he looked at it, and here's the thing. I prefaced it when I dropped it off at Paris Jewelers that this ring has been through a lot.
Okay.
This is not this is a farm girl ring. So just understand it might need a good cleaning.
Oh, I see.
They're going to have to pretty much rebuild the ring.
Really?
Yep. Matt over at Paris Jewelers.
Oh, nice.
He presented the award, I think, for Nasty of the Year.
Oh, sweet.
Or was it Text of the Year? I forget.
Probably Text of the Year because they have the inbox in the morning, right? Yeah.
Rip won it. Yeah, that's right.
That was the Reid Wilkins one.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a riff on my name, everybody. All right. Well, that's a really good off-topic topic. We'll get that. You can text in 780-218-9999, River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. You can email Reid at edmontonsportstalk.com, Jay at edmontonsportstalk.com. We have the Oil Understood coming up. Randy Hahn, Sharks play-by-play voice, is going to join us as well. Coob, he's going to do video. Did you get my message? Yeah, he wasn't sure if he's going to be able to just do it over the phone or do video. So that'll be cool. I got to say this. The Sharks broadcasters, they're all pretty good to deal with, but the Sharks guys have always been pretty good. They got Randy doing play-by-play, Dan Ruzanowski on the radio. Drew
Remend
was with
been
the
on our
Sharks,
show.
then was here, now is back with the Sharks. He'll probably come on next week, and he'll probably just come on during the playoffs.
I would just like to talk to him. He's just he's a great storyteller.
I always liked Drew. I know that, but that's the nature of working in broadcasting. There will always be people that don't like you. I know he had some people when he was on the Oilers broadcast that didn't like him, but I mean, that just comes with the territory. I mean, you're never going to have everybody in the audience thinking that you're great, but I always loved Drew. Do we have a mystery athlete winner for tomorrow already?
No. I don't know. I believe this is our very own Tom Gazzola with a missing story.
He texted it in?
He texted in to the River Cree inbox.
No, is he using a pseudonym, though, that he doesn't want us to know that it's him?
I know. His name says Gazzola, and it's not bad. It's a great story,
It could be one of the brothers, though.
It could be Paulie or
Reno.
Yeah, it could be Reno. Maybe. No, this said, okay, I'll read it.
Yeah.
When my parents bought a new mattress and box spring, I helped them get rid of the old ones. I noticed there was a rip in the cloth under the box spring and something stuck in there. When I reached in, I found my original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Donatello action figure that I must have put in there when I was a little kid 20 years prior and assumed it was lost.
So he hid little Tom in his parents' mattress.
Yes.
So I'm trying to figure out this whole scenario. Was he trying to hide it from his brothers?
Probably.
And he thought, well, we don't often go in our
Who's gonna
parents'
look
room.
under there?
And who would look in it? I mean, he probably could have put it in his own mattress, but devious little Tom.
Well, here's the thing, Reid. The mattress, he wouldn't have gotten in from underneath the mattress. It would have been underneath the bed. So he was probably under their bed, opened that cloth and stuck it in there. Like
it's almost like a mesh, isn't it, under the mattress?
Yeah, it's a very thin fabric, like a fibrous fabric,
right.
But it's easily ripped. So he was just storing it in there he was probably self-preservation of Donatello in the Gazzola household.
Right.
That's fantastic. How excited would you be to find that?
That would be cool.
That
to
would
find
be really
something.
cool.
I must have something like that. Like I found a cartridge or a comic or an action figure. Jasmine in the nasty chat is Ekholm traveling with the team. Home game tomorrow. He did not go on the 4-game California road trip because I saw him out for dinner.
I never heard that story.
Where were you? Did I not tell it on this show? Oh, no, I was on the morning show last Thursday when I was off.
When you were off,
yeah,
right.
Maddie owes me a day in lieu for that.
Yes.
So last Wednesday, my parents took me to Olia for my birthday. And we were just sitting there, as a family, and I'm kind of just looking around. And it's in my line of vision on the other side of the restaurant. I think I see a guy, and I'm like, wow, that guy has a huge beard, kind of like Matthias Ekholm. And then I'm like, oh, that is Matthias Ekholm.
Kind of looks like a Norseman.
So no, he didn't travel. Is he going to travel to Winnipeg on Sunday? TBD, Jazz.
TBD, Jazz. Our very own Matthew Awanek, the coup.
Good guy.
Says pantyhose over a vacuum is a trick to use to find small things. Sucks up but doesn't get vacuumed up. This is just...
That's exactly what we're talking about, Matthew.
This would have been great for the ring, for the diamond, right? It would have held it in there, along with all the other horse clippings and hair.
Yeah,
would have.
I don't know if that works well in a barn, Matthew.
Yeah, maybe in the. Yeah, that's
I don't know
true.
how many barns Matthew is spinning. All right. Give us the
use that.
Give us the thumbs up if you're in the nasty chat. We got the Oil Understood coming up for GCL Diesel.
Jay, what's with the pantyhose in the back?
April, get out of here. Leave me alone. Just trying them on. Here comes Zachary Kobish.
Edmonton has made an emergency call-up bringing Cam Dineen up from Bakersfield while loaning Olivier Rodrigue to the Condors. Dineen, this season in the AHL, has played 59 games, recording 42 points. Suiting up in just one game for the Oilers, Edmonton gets back in action tomorrow as they play the Sharks. Colorado hosts Vancouver. Avs superstar Nathan McKinnon takes a day off to rest an undisclosed injury. And around the league, Utah hosts Nashville. The Ducks and Kings have a date. The Caps and Hurricanes duke it out while Buffalo hits the ice in Columbus on a 10-game NHL slate. For next month's IIHF World Championship, Pens general manager Kyle Dubas will serve as Canada's general manager. That kicks off May 9th. In baseball, the Jays eye a series sweep over the Red Sox to get 4 straight over Boston. It's scoreless right now in the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, there's just one other game underway. Brewers trailing the Rockies 6-2 in the bottom of the 8th. On the court, there's 5 games. Cavs and Pacers tip off. The Knicks and Pistons go toe-to-toe as Memphis welcomes in Minnesota. And England's Justin Rose holds first place at Augusta National at 8 under through 17 holes, while at the end of his opening round, Canadian Corey Connors is tied at second place, 4 under par. This sports update is brought to you by Clover Bar Feeds. Clover Bar Feeds has all the animal feed you'll need. Get top-notch service and selection from their family-owned business. Visit Clover Bar Feeds at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or call them at 780-467-5014. The Reid Wilkins Show brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Do you have pets? Horses? Chickens? Did the place you used to get your feed recently close down? Have no fear. Clover Bar Feeds is here. Whether it's dogs, cats, horses, or chickens, Clover Bar Feeds has you covered. Offering a large variety of food and feed, you can trust the experts at Clover Bar Feeds. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. This means you can expect nothing less than top-notch service and selection. Come visit them at 200 Portage Close in Sherwood Park or visit them online at cloverbarfeeds.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know. Hope you're having a great afternoon. Justin Rose bogeyed the 18th hole, first round of the Masters, but he still shoots a 7 under 65. He has a 3-shot lead Scotty Scheffler and Corey Connors, the Canadian, are already done. They shot 4 under 68. McIlroy's still on the course. He's 4 under, playing the 15th hole, so he could still move into second place all alone. Tyrell Hatton, 3 under 69 today, but Justin Rose flying in the first round. He's 7 under 65. He was in trouble on 17 and scrambled for par, and then in trouble on 18 as well, and had to settle for a bogey. This is what I love, having this on at work.
Oh,
I mean, we are very lucky.
very.
Yeah.
The ESTV.
The ESTV coming through huge. This will be good for all the golf majors, right?
Oh, yeah, baby.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. You want to come here on Saturday and broadcast just to,
Well, I think we could just... He's just going to come watch the TV.
No, like this, though. You, me.
Oh, and we still just pretend we're doing a show?
Yeah,
I
we'll
guess
just
we can
pretend.
just start doing a show.
You know, I really regret that we didn't tape our practice, our rehearsal shows that we did last August prior to going live. Remember we would do those?
Yeah, I remember. We did 3.
They got to be somewhere.
They weren't full shows,
They
though.
got to be somewhere.
Yeah, I think Dusty has them.
It just keeps it in
But they're just digital, though. They weren't taped.
They weren't streamed, but they were on. Yeah.
But they would have been saved some, because we did send them to Dusty to give us a final stamp of approval or whatever. But we didn't do 3 hours. I think,
Are you sure, Dusty?
What was the longest we did?
Like
hour 20, maybe?
An hour and a half. We had to get through the top of an hour. I know that.
Right.
Gazzola says it was Tom, in fact, and he must have been playing with it. He was super pumped to find it, and it now sits in the shelving of his EST satellite studio.
Oh, neat.
So the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame show, you'll see Donatello, and now you know the story behind it.
Ask Tom if he would like me to come to his place for my postgame hit tomorrow. So I've yet to do that, and I think we might be doing it more in the playoffs. Hopefully several playoff games. Well, hopefully the Oilers make the playoffs.
Now.
As we dive into the oil understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel! Understood. Okay, first of all, let's look at this. Playoff probabilities for the Edmonton Oilers. According to Hockey Reference, the Oilers have a 100% chance of making the playoffs.
Really?
Yes. According to Money Puck, it's 99.99%. And then playoffstatus.com, it just had a little greater than sign, 99%. So the Oilers should be in the postseason.
I find it interesting.
As I was saying before, they should have been.
How can it be 100%?
I think they probably round it up. Because it actually can't be 100%.
It can't until they are.
Until they've actually clinched. So they're 1 point away from clinching a playoff spot. If Calgary, by the way, that's a tough, because as we've been saying, Calgary is worried about trying to catch Minnesota and or St. Louis as well, right? So if Calgary wins in regulation, if Calgary wins yesterday, they're at 89 points. So then they're 4 back of St. Louis with 2 games in hand. So it's doable. It's difficult, but it's doable. Like they wouldn't have been worried so much about Edmonton in that scenario. But when they went up 3-1 on Anaheim with about 7 minutes left, I'm like, okay, they got this one. And the Ducks rallied to tie it and badly outshot once again. Like at one point, the shots were 28-14 or something like that. I didn't see what they wound up with, but the Ducks pulled out another one. So look, everybody.
And anybody could have won that Minnesota San Jose game.
We got to talk about that one with Randy. What it was like calling the... and he did... You say he did Edmonton Drillers play-by-play? I don't know if...
Yeah.
So that would have been in the early 80s then. Indoor or outdoor? Well, we'll ask him.
Edmonton Drillers soccer team. It didn't say indoor or outdoor, but yeah.
Could have been both.
Be an interesting interview.
He's awesome. If you're taking us in on YouTube, remember to find that little thumbs up button.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
All right, there we go. And yes, Cam Dineen called up from the minors, so I would expect him to play tomorrow for the Oilers with Walman not expected to play. The Oilers went with 5D last night. Olivier Rodrigue has been sent back to Bakersfield. So we would expect Skinner to dress tomorrow. I don't know if Stuart Skinner is going to play tomorrow, but obviously he'll be able to dress with Rodrigue no longer on the roster. Playoffs around the corner. Two guys we've talked about a lot this season as being quite underwhelming, if not outright disappointing at times. And I think that things that made the Holloway departure a lot harder to swallow, the Foegele departure a lot harder to swallow. And of course, we're talking about Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. Arvidsson, has been scoring lately. I think Skinner had a pretty good game last night. First of all, that pass from Bouchard, that's what Bouchard can do. Not a lot of guys can make that pass, and Skinner made kind of a crafty play to fake that shot, and then he unfortunately wasn't able to finish. So they're not going to score. Neither guy will score 20 goals unless one of them gets a hat trick or something down the stretch, right? But I do think there are encouraging signs from both of these players. Arvidsson, as we know, didn't start well, battled through an injury, had a lot of games in which he appeared to be, quite frankly, a little out of control and perhaps even made confusing decisions. I still think he has a little bit of that in his game where it's like, okay, the safe play is to cycle the puck and keep building the forecheck, and then he might try a spinorama and a weird shot. But I think he's been doing better. And I think Jeff Skinner has been doing a lot better. And I mentioned with Cass and Dustin when I was on Two Guys and a Goalie from noon to one that, a play where he checked responsibly. He didn't try to make a fancy strip and get a breakaway off it. He went to the right side of the puck and got in the way and made a very responsible decision. And I think you got to consider the stats. Jeff Skinner has 6 goals in his last 19 games. So he basically scores every third game. It's not bad. I mean, that's secondary scoring in the NHL. I mean, if you score in every third game,
that's pretty
over
good.
The regular season, you're a 27 goal scorer. That's not bad. That's like a guy what Jake Neighbors is for St. Louis. Good player. Victor Arvidsson has 7 goals in his last 23 games. This is since the Four Nations face-off. Okay? So again, scoring about every third game. So if you get into a playoff series and Arvidsson and Skinner, say, combine for 5 goals, that's actually not bad. And keep forechecks alive, play responsible defensively, play a little bit physically. I know that's not a huge part of Jeff Skinner's game, especially, but I think now, look, once the playoffs start, anything that happened October 20th, who cares?
Yes.
And look, if we go into the playoffs and the Oilers lose to LA, and Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson have 0 goals combined in 5 or 6 games or 1 goal combined, okay, then we're going to say, well, that's who they were all season long. They had a little bit of bursts, but really they were disappointing and they couldn't score. But if we get into the playoffs and they, contribute and actually provide secondary scoring, then we might say, hey, you know what? That's fine. They're going to have a round 100-point regular season with those guys not doing a bunch the entire way. And then if they kind of come to life or keep building on what they've done here in the last third of the regular season of the playoffs, then we're going to remember their seasons totally differently.
Okay, that's an interesting point. Are there inefficiencies during the regular season completely forgiven if they can contribute regularly in the playoffs? Or is it still, you got to remember how, do you remember how much they were struggling, in December or November? I think it's actually quite possible that with not even a outstanding performance, but like you said, if they continued this pace of play and this scoring touch or presence during the playoffs, yes, I think the sins of their past would be forgotten in this market.
Yes, I think so, especially if the Oilers were able to go beyond round 2. Like if the Oilers made it out of the Pacific Division and if they wind up playing, say, 17 playoff games, and Jeff Skinner and Arvidsson both, have 5 to 7 goals, then yes, I think that would go a long way towards saying, okay, well, they survived the regular season and then we're pretty good in the playoffs. And maybe, we had a decent playoff run. But I think if the Oilers flame out in the first round and those guys don't score, then it's still going to be like, those are pretty lousy signings. I don't know. I don't know if all would be forgiven, but I'm hoping that these two players are positioning themselves for stronger performances in the playoffs.
Well, let's talk about what we do know. We do know that they've been turning it on as of late. That's positive. As you head towards the playoffs, to have these two players. I mean, look at Arvidsson's goal last night. That was a 5-on-5 goal. That was a harmless shot from the point. Rebound, boom. Johnny on the spot, puts it in the back of the net. That is what Arvidsson should be doing. Pestering, getting in the way.
Yeah.
Right? I was so happy to see that goal scored that way.
Well, they scored a couple of playoff style goals last night, if you want to call them that. Podkolzin in front of the net. Just hack at the rebound.
Gritty goals.
Don't stick handle it. Don't try to tap it to somebody back door. Put it back on the net.
Yep.
Okay, sometimes you might shoot it wide. Sometimes you might shoot it back into Binnington's pads. Whatever. He hacks at it. It finds its way in the corner. Great. Arvidsson, I think that was on the delayed penalty, but technically it was an even strength goal. And I thought that was a really good play by Kulak.
Yes.
And even by, I think Nurse shot the other one. You don't always have to wind up and take a
Puck's
massive slap shot. And Kulak can fire the puck, but he got the puck to the middle of the ice. Arvidsson's there. I'm going to get the puck there. And that's what we talked about. Sometimes when the offense isn't going well or it appears they're not getting to the net, well, the puck's got to get there too. So sometimes you say, well, they didn't get people to the net, but you could also say, well, there was somebody there, but the defenseman didn't shoot. He overpassed or didn't just flip it on net. So that's Kulak. There's a lane to shoot. I can't see Binnington because Arvidsson's in the way. That's a good thing. I'll just put the puck in that part of the ice. Maybe Arvidsson tips it. Maybe there's a rebound. Maybe Binnington catches it. But I'm putting it into a dangerous situation.
Yeah, it was a good sign to see that.
I think was that McElroy that just chipped across the 15th green? Yeah, Big Uke and Bronco Nick. So I looked up just to see the ball rolling. So the 15th green, that's the par 5 over the pond. He was over the water, pitched back onto the green, and it rolled all the way across and went into the pond. And those are the shots you guys like you and I, we would have zero chance of knowing how to stop the ball. It would just be luck, or we would have to play sneak attack.
And that's now he's dropping from the other side of the pond.
Back to the other side. Is that him?
Yeah,
so he has to go back to the other side and drop. Oh, because there's a drop circle there. So now these guys are pros. But if that's
a drop circle if you go in the water. I
guess it must apply from the back too.
Well, no, but he can go anywhere. He can go as far back from the pin as he wants, I believe. So he's probably trying to find the range that best suits.
But there is a circle there, though.
There is.
That is a designated drop area.
But I think that's for going in.
Bronco Nick will tell us. And sometimes they'll have specific course rules. So he made a very safe shot. He landed it beyond the flag and bounces it onto the fringe. He was not going to risk the rollback. Now, but that's going to be a dicey shot from where he is it not? Because doesn't he have to go back down the slope a little bit? Maybe not from directly behind?
Nothing's not dicey. Nothing's not dicey. Unfortunate Son says, I like that Podkolzin goal. Nothing wrong with those. Kulak looked like a stud.
I thought Podkolzin played a good game. I still don't, and I've said this all year, I still don't think his puck skills are great. But I do think his energy was really good. I think he got in there and hit.
He's only got hit. He had 4 hits last night.
He doesn't get in the wrong position a lot. But I still think he's better suited to being probably a third line player than a second line player where he's been at times this year. But I thought he played a good game. I thought a lot of guys played well. And I was like, yes, there were mistakes. Obviously, they gave up a couple breakaways, but Pickard made some big saves. I mean, St. Louis wasn't perfect either. And then look, Jay, and this is another thing that's going to happen in the playoffs. If there's overtime or sometimes it's like the NFL, late game execution. Do you have the quarterback that can take you on that 2-minute drive?
The cojones.
Yeah. And so for the Oilers, that'll be the advantage to having McDavid and Draisaitl. Do you have a playmaker that can do something in late in the third or in overtime?
But back to Podkolzin, and I know you don't like to lean on this stat too much, but what do you know what the hits were last night?
I don't remember.
21-10 in favor of the Blues.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know the only Oiler to register more than one hit was Vasily Podkolzin?
Yeah, well, he really hit someone hard behind the Blues net.
That is something that is, he knows. He knows that's his bread and butter and his way to stay in this lineup. And he's effective doing it. He was noticeable doing it last night. Pitched in on the score sheet. I mean, that's all you can ask for him. That's actually a better than, I guess, average or expectations game for Podkolzin.
Well, and look, I know some people are mad at me. Some people are just poking fun at me for the doom and gloom of the possibilities of them missing the playoffs that I pitched for the last couple of days, even though we all knew that I knew they were going to get in. But, there's a saying in hockey, it's a bit of a cliche, but some guys get you to the playoffs and some guys get you through the playoffs, and you need both. Maybe Podkolzin is the type of guy that gets you through the playoffs. Because in a 7-game series, or 5, 6, 7, whatever, he gets in and hits, right? Okay, so he hits a defenseman 3 or 4 times in a game. Okay, fine. In the regular season, that defenseman might not be hit that hard again for 2 weeks when he plays another player like Podkolzin. If they play the Kings, well, Podkolzin's hitting Drew Doughty like that 4 times a game. And by the time he does it for the 30th time in the season in Game 7, maybe Drew Doughty or Anderson or whoever is a little tired of it and coughs up the puck or rushes the play or is
slashes
a little sore or whatever.
Takes a penalty because he's sick of it. That's how it works.
I'm just trying to... I mean, I know the Kings are going to be a tough opponent, but there are some little things that I'm starting to think maybe this is something that's going to help the Oilers in the playoffs. And that's one of them. Bronco, who put this in? Where's Mike's post? Oh, no, it was Bronco Nick. Okay, yeah, so that is the rule. Any ball entering that hazard, regardless from where you hit it from, will have the drop in that circle.
Oh, so even if it's green side or fairway side?
Some holes, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, I think that some holes they'll say that's the drop for when you hit it in the water. I wish more courses for guys like us did that. I remember when I played, I was lucky enough to play Predator Ridge a few years ago. And there was a par 3 where you're basically hitting all the way over the pond. And right on the first tee, it says if you hit into the water, there's a drop circle up by the green. So you don't have to re-tee. And then you're like, oh my God.
You
can, okay, I'm not going to have to put 8 balls in the water to play the proper rules of golf. Okay, we're late into the 4 o'clock break. The Oil understood for GCL Diesel, the Coupe after the timeout.
The Lock Shop.
Greg Wyshynski, who joins us on Wednesdays, did tease us yesterday that their final ESPN awards watch was coming out today, and kind of teased us. I was like, oh, what's it going to be? 40% of the first place votes from the panelists over at ESPN do have Leon Draisaitl winning the Hart Trophy, but Draisaitl is far and away the front runner for it. He's got 40% of the first place votes.
The Lock Shop, weekday mornings at 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman V. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
You've heard the name, but what does it mean? For over 66 years, William Huff Advertising has supplied signage from screen printing to digital to LED with design, production, and install in-house. It's a one-stop shop for all your signage needs. Edmonton owned and operated, William Huff has been trusted by the biggest companies and teams in the City of Champions and many others across the country to do the job. If you're looking for a way to get the word out about your company or event, they are the answer. Go to www.williamhuff.com. Their results speak for themselves.
Play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Play more tables and games.
PlayMoreGames.ca.
Cam Dineen has been called up to the Oilers from the Condors on an emergency basis as the team loans Olivier Rodrigue to the AHL. Dineen has just 25 career NHL games, one with the Oilers. He played early last month against the Habs. In Colorado's Nathan McKinnon will not play tonight against the Canucks. He nurses an undisclosed injury. Elsewhere, the Golden Knights and Kraken drop the puck. And Winnipeg's Nikolai Ehlers and Neil Pionk are game-time decisions in Dallas. And Kyle Dubas has been named as Canada's general manager for the upcoming IIHF World Championship. That starts May 9th, and the Jays have a chance to sweep their 4-game set with the Red Sox. Jays leading 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Earlier, the Twins fell 3-2 against the Royals, and the Guardians beat the White Sox 6-1. After that, the Phillies and Braves go toe-to-toe. Basketball sees 5 games. Indiana hosts Cleveland with the Pacers eyeing 6 wins in a row. The Pistons challenge the Knicks before the Bucks take on the Pelicans with New Orleans on a 4-game slide. In round 1 at Augusta sees Corey Connors the highest-ranked Canadian. He's tied second, 4 under par through 18 holes, while Justin Rose has top spot at the end of his day, being good for 7 under par. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The second hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Thanks, Coob. Good work. Hope you're having a great day. Round 1 of the Masters. We got it on the ESTV. Justin Rose is your leader. He shot a 7 under 65. Bogeyed 18, but still had an outstanding round. Canadian Corey Connors is tied for second with Scotty Scheffler. They both shot 4 under 68. Oberg still on the course. He's playing the 16th hole. He's 3 under. Hatton's in the clubhouse at 3 under. We'll keep an eye on that one for you. Fun to see the Masters off and running. And I didn't see, this is Fitzpatrick. Like, this is so, like, he hits it 20 yards, not 20 yards, probably,
pretty
30,
close.
Yeah, close past the hole, and it catches a ridge and rolls back down. Not right on it, but that's the amazing thing. Like, they're not aiming, they're aiming for a specific part of the green. Though, I find golf so fascinating, even though I'm terrible at it, but I watched this video on YouTube probably about a year ago, and it was some shots from the Island Green at Sawgrass. Of course, they had the players there, last month? And they showed a couple shots of guys, and it was that front right pin that they usually have on Sunday, and they showed shots of guys like on Sunday, like nailing it right at the pin, and then it cuts to them, and they're kind of almost looking sheepish. And then, in interviews later they were doing for this piece, they said, that's not where I was aiming. I was aiming at the middle of the green, and I mishit it. But the point of this video was, for an average golfer, you don't have to try to make heroic shots. Aim for the middle, and if you hit a miss a little left or a little right, you're still going to be in play, as opposed to being, in the water. So, and they also, they said if you ever hear, like Mike, the Michigan fan, is probably rolling his eyes saying, like, yes, Reid, thanks for telling me stuff I already know about golf. But if you ever hear a guy in his caddy, I think they'll say, like, well, what is it to clear? Or what's the clearance? They're saying the distance to get over the hazard. So even if, say the flag is at the front of the green and there's a water hazard off to the left that goes halfway to the green, they're asking for how long is it to clear the hazard. So if I mishit it left, I'll still clear the water. Right. So maybe I won't be near the pin, but I won't be taking a penalty stroke. Anyway.
Totally different angle on 16, by the way.
I think there might be some different camera angles.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. It's awesome.
And are there, like, you and I love watching the Masters. Now maybe we're behind. It seems to me there might be a couple locations where they have added sort of grandstand, or scaffolding seating, like certainly on 12.
Well, Amen Corner, for sure.
Because there's those seats where you're behind the 12th tee, but you can also see the 11th green off to the left. That seemed to be twice as
massive.
Yeah, it seemed to be extended from what it was in the past.
The River Cree inbox is popping off, Reid.
River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant, all-you-can-eat prime rib buffet for just $49.99 every Sunday from 4 to 10 p.m.
Jeff from GP says it's cup or bust, so regular season stats don't overly matter, only play in the postseason. Andrew, the accountant, pretty much says the same thing. For this team, the playoffs should be the only thing that matter and what they are judged on. Our off-topic topic for William Huff was, tell us your lost and found story, essentially. Right. Alicia Hemming says, I lost my retainer, the one you get after you have braces, and my mom had to buy a new one. They are not cheap. A few months later, I reached into the pocket of my hoodie I had on and found my old retainer. My mom still doesn't know I found it.
Oh, jeez. That's pretty good.
Pizza Boy, I have a crazy jewelry story. My mother-in-law lost her diamond bracelet while she was visiting us here in Slave Lake at a huge campsite. I went back to look for it the next day. It could have been in a lake, along the beach, in the bush. She covered a lot of ground. I parked in the gravel parking lot, expecting to search hopelessly for hours. I got out of my car, looked down, and it was literally 2 feet away from my car.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Keep them coming. Your lost and found story. For those that don't know or weren't listening earlier, my wife lost her diamond out of her wedding ring.
Yeah.
And we found it.
There's always, some of these stories might be a little emotional. Some of them might have a financial element. Some of them might be embarrassing. Like, I can't find this. I can't find this. Like asking a spouse or your little kid or even a teen, I can't find something, and your spouse or your parent or your sibling or your roommate walks in. It's right there. Like
well, look at this, Reid. Collingwood Rob. My in-laws, he says, God rest their souls, lost investment certificates valued at $50,000, Rolex watches and assorted gold jewelry over $50,000. The entire family was looking for it for over a day. I went over and asked what the items were kept in. It was kept in an old Ward Air bag. So I just sat and thought to myself that if I were 80 years old, where would I stash my stuff? I found the items in the first place I looked. My mind is weird, and that's why I've won the mystery player of the game 2 times.
That's right. Nino, I don't know, is it Chukic? Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. I'm going to make this buying or selling. I'm going to do an audible on the fly. We'll touch on the other stuff we talked about because one of them is especially funny. Buying or selling for Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. Nino says the Oilers' A game is the best in the NHL. If healthy, they are a very tough out. So maybe that, are you buying or selling what Nino posted in the Nasty Chat? Because there have been large stretches of this season. I mean, the first month and a half, right? And then large stretches since just before the Four Nations face-off, and then certainly out of the four, where we've been saying, look at how flawed this team is. Look what this guy can't do. Look how this guy screwed up. Look how this guy isn't as good as he was last year. Like, is Nino basically saying, hold on, everybody. Again, we had that run where the Oilers were 22-6-1. That's an elite record. They were best in the NHL over that time. So was that the exception? Or is Nino saying, hold on, everybody. They can play that well. They just haven't been healthy enough to do it. Let's focus on that.
I know, but they had a healthy lineup, and they weren't playing great. They had everybody in the lineup. So essentially, and Nino, I think it's a great point. I'm just going to say, Nino's saying two different things. Yes, their A game is the best in the NHL, but healthy does not equal their A game.
Okay.
They could be healthy and deliver a C or a C minus or a D like we saw after the Four Nations face-off. Nobody was out of the lineup. Everybody was healthy. But when they are healthy and on their A game, 100%, I would agree with that.
So maybe that's the point. There is an A game that the Oilers have, and maybe it's not as high as their A game from last season, but it's still a very good A game, but they haven't been able to hit it as often as last year.
Correct.
So maybe the ceiling's not as high, plus for whatever reason the consistency.
Do you think? I don't know, Reid. What did we just talk about? We talked about Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. If these two players can keep doing what they're doing and contribute, do you think the ceiling is as high or maybe even higher than last year?
Well,
I mean, defensively, the way Walman's been playing, the way Kulak's been playing, I mean, Ekholm's not in right now. Hopefully he'll be back for the playoffs. I think the ceiling could be higher for this year's team.
But here's the thing. It's such a fine line, too. Like I was saying to the guys on two guys on a goalie, if you steal a game in a series, it could be enough to win you the series. The Oilers outright stole Game 6 from Dallas. They had the shots were 35-11 or 36-10 or whatever they were. The Oilers won the game. If they lose that game, they go back to Dallas for Game 7. Well, maybe you don't win that one. So it's such a fine line. I do think, and I'm not going to guarantee anything. I'm not getting cocky. I'm not saying they're going to go deep. But I do think there are some things about the Oilers game lately that might be a little bit encouraging in terms of simplification, other players scoring. I mean, Connor Brown last night, Podkolzin last night. We mentioned Skinner and Arvidsson scoring on average about every third game, right? That maybe could bode well for the playoffs. Now, yes, the goaltending has to come together. You got to have good special teams. You need to be healthy, all those types of things. I think the LA Kings will be favored in the first round. I don't know if they should be favored by as much as I think some of the discussion has been lately. Is that fair?
Do you think so?
Yes. I think it's going to be a very tight, very competitive series. But I do think the Kings will be favored.
I do not.
You like sports books or just with
books.
discussion? Oh, okay.
I'm talking sports books.
Oh, okay. I'm talking people who are going to be making predictions in that series.
Really?
Yeah.
You think the Sportsnet panel is going to say that the LA Kings are going to beat the Oilers in round one?
I think more people are going to beat the Kings.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, because we'll see when they make their picks, but they usually have about 20 people make the picks, and I think there'll be the concerns about the Oilers' health. I think there'll be praise for the Kings' goal prevention, so to speak, and I think there'll be the thought you can't beat a team 4 times in a row.
4 series in a row.
Yeah, 4 series in a row. Anyway.
Which is part of the reason I think it's going to be okay.
All right. Very special guest, Randy Hahn, play-by-play voice for the San Jose Sharks. He's going to check in when we get back.
The Oilers have loaned Olivier Rodrigue to the AHL while recalling Cam Dineen on an emergency basis. Dineen has appeared in one contest for the Oilers this season, playing nearly 15 minutes. March 6 against the Habs. And Pittsburgh's general manager Kyle Dubas will serve as Canada's general managers in next month's IIHF World Championship. That gets underway May 9th. And Nathan McKinnon sits out for the Avs with an undisclosed injury against the Canucks. There's 9 other games around the NHL. Winnipeg visits Dallas. The Panthers battle the Red Wings, and the Rangers and Islanders face off from Long Island. Right now, the Jays are up 2-1 on the Red Sox in the top of the 8th inning before the Phillies go at it with the Braves. Earlier, the Angels stomped the Rays 11-1, and the Rockies got by the Brewers 7-2. In the association, there's 5 games, including the Pelicans meeting the Bucks, New Orleans hitting the court in Milwaukee, while the Hawks tip off with the Nets. And the Masters scoreboard after day 1 has England's Justin Rose at 7 under par in top spot, and Canadian Corey Connors tied for second with Scotty Scheffler at 4 under par. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Proudly serving Edmonton and area for over 30 years, their West End showroom is open 7 days a week. You can shop online at paramountflooring.ca. We check in with the Sharks once we get back from the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
Craving a late night snack? Hit the Banquet for our new late night happy hour. Sunday to Thursday, 9 p.m. till close. Try favorites like sweet and spicy lettuce wraps or our Banquet burger and fries. All at happy hour prices. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman B. Let me see that Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Oilers San Jose tomorrow, 7:30 game at Rogers Place. So we will have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show coming up at 6:30 tomorrow with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Then the Oilers Winnipeg Sunday, home to LA on Cube. I'm going to give you a new email here. Sorry, everybody, for adjusting on the fly. And we'll get Randy on in a second here. So what are they? They got Sharks tomorrow, Winnipeg Sunday, Kings Monday, Sharks Wednesday. If they wind up not having home ice advantage against the LA Kings in the first round, probably stay down there for
sure
for the series.
that would make sense.
Maybe starts next Sunday, but we'll see. Maybe give him a call just to make sure everything is being set up as well, because we just got a little bit of a glitch there with his email. Randy Hahn's going to join us in a couple minutes. Thanks a lot for checking out the show. You can text 780-218-9999. That is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. We are in the banquet studio. Make your birthday epic at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a vibe you won't forget. Book your party now at thebanquetbar.com. If you are taking us in through the good old YouTube stream, thank you for doing so. Make sure you've subscribed to Edmonton Sports Talk. Hit that thumbs up button. Click away. Let's push here to get to 100 in the next segment, and then we'll keep building towards word of the day territory as we roll through the afternoon. Good off-topic topic for William Huff. Something that you thought was lost that you then found.
Ian, in enemy territory, my son lost his iPhone on a run at the top of the Panorama Ski Mountain, looked all around where he thought he'd lost it. Somehow, a Panorama ski instructor found it. The phone in the snow the next day, charged it up, and popped up on my phone the next day. A miracle.
I would think that was hopeless to find that.
Oy, oy, oy.
That's pretty cool.
This one's come in a couple times or something like it. Andrew, the accountant. My wife lost 2 debit cards in the span of about a week one winter. Once the snow melted, both debit cards were on the pavement right next to where she parked. And the real Slim Davy, when I was in grade 4 or 5, I lost my favorite toque. Looked for it everywhere and gave up as lost forever. A few months later, during the first real warm stretch of the spring, I was taking my usual route home through the school's football field and saw a familiar frozen pattern frozen in the snow. Got my toque back. I'm glad you got your toque back.
That would suck as a kid to lose your favorite toque, because you think you're never going to have a better toque at that age.
Where do you? Okay, I might leave this for after Randy.
We'll do it later. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're just getting connected here with Randy. Sharks in town tomorrow.
So,
wild game last night.
LA hosts the Ducks tonight. They host the Avalanche Saturday. They're in Edmonton next Monday. Then in Seattle, and they finish off with the Flames coming to LA.
Right. I think that's the makeup of the game that was postponed because of the fires, right?
Very well could be.
Yeah.
But they do have a game in hand, and they're 2 points up on the Oilers. So the likelihood, and as you noted, Reid, they would have to outright beat the LA Kings.
Yes, because regulation wins, LA has the advantage. The Oilers cannot pass them.
LA is, who's 7-3-0 in their last 10, would need to go a little cold here over the final 5 games if that were to happen.
Yeah. Vegas, 6 points up on LA. Five of the playoff spots in the Western Conference have been locked up. Are we doing phone for Randy Coop? Okay, that's fine. Randy Hahn, love talking to him. He's our Voices of the Game feature today for Windsor Plywood Leduc. Locally owned and operated since 1993. We're more than just plywood. We offer everything from doors and decking and flooring to fencing and custom millwork with a huge selection of hardwoods and knowledgeable staff. We're here for all your DIY needs. Windsor Plywood Leduc, the experts you need to know. Randy, it's Reid Wilkins. How are you doing?
I'm doing good to be back in my hometown.
Yeah, Jason Milne is my co-host. You're going to hear from him as we move along throughout this interview. Your first time on my new show here on Edmonton Sports Talk. I'm going to dive right in here. How many 8-7 games have you called in your career?
You mean 8-7 games where the team that I was doing scored 7 and lost?
Right.
Yeah, not a whole lot. That was crazy last night. It was it was a crazy night in the league, actually. If you look around, and then if you go back earlier in the week when Vancouver came from behind against Dallas in that nutty game. So usually things are supposed to stabilize near the end of the year. Teams are supposed to be gearing up for the playoffs and locking down their systems and just tweaking their special teams, and that's not happening.
Randy Hahn joining us, Sharks play-by-play for NBC Sports California. Randy, you got Jay here. There's no way to put it. It's been a tough year for the Sharks organization, but I suppose you've got to find some positives, and I'd imagine that the leader or leaders of the pack, when you're talking about positives, would be Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith, both rookies in the top 5 for rookie scoring. What growth have you seen from these two players from game 1 to where you're at now?
Well, it's been interesting because Macklin scored in his first game on his first shot, and also got injured in that game and then missed the next month. So that was a bummer. Will Smith, they had a plan at the beginning of the year to kind of usher him a little more carefully. He didn't play back-to-backs. They rested him in October, November, gave him a chance to acclimate. And then when Celebrini came back in November, into December, the shackles came off Smith, and they've been going full bore ever since then. There's been a lot of progress. Macklin has been everything as advertised, if not more. Since January 20th, Celebrini leads all rookies in scoring. Smith is second, and then after that, it's Michkov, Hudson, and Gauthier. So they've really come on. It has been a tough year, but I have to say, guys, it's nothing like last year. Last year was the brutal year. It was really bad. And this year, with those guys here and some other pieces, you can start to see the future. Last year, you were talking about a blueprint of the future, and here's what we hope will happen. And now you can see the fans can, observe the players, feel the energy. And it's a whole different vibe this year. It's been so much better this year, and there's been so much team improvement this year. Even if it doesn't show in wins, it's been happening. Games that last year were being lost by 3 and 4 and 5 goals. Now they're 1-goal games. They've been in, check my notes here, they have now been in 38 1-goal games this year. And they've only won 12 of those. So if you get a swing next year, where if you can even just add another 50% wins in the 1-goal games, then you're going to see it in the standings.
Yeah, you know what, Rand? I'm glad you talked about how they've been playing and sort of the spirit of the team, because I've been saying about the Sharks, and we saw it last week, like they're not shrinking like this. And look, as you know, I covered some pretty lousy Oilers teams, and it gets called the death march and stuff like that. And I know there've been a couple games for San Jose where the goals against have been up there, but they don't seem like a team that's just counting how many seconds it is until the final siren. Like they're playing with pride. That's what I've said. Like they're still playing with a lot of pride.
Well, and it's not just pride. It's passion, and it's balls to the walls, just doing stuff, like trying things. You got all these kids. You got an 18-year-old kid who's leading the team in scoring. He's a franchise player. He's the centerpiece, and I hate to compare young players to McDavid or McKinnon. I mean, these guys are the top of the food chain in the NHL right now. But this is a young, talented player in Celebrini who is the foundational piece for the Sharks. It's unlikely anybody else is going to come down the pike to them that's going to be better than Macklin Celebrini during this rebuild and an attempt to become a relevant franchise again. So he's it. And he's having fun. And he and Will Smith have become friends. And they're having so much fun. And I said it a couple of games ago. This is the most fun last place team you will ever see because they're not boring. And last night wasn't boring. I mean, it was 8-7. And for a while there, it was 7-4 in the third period for the Wild because Joel Eriksson went off and Kaprizov went off and they had a night. But these guys just went like, okay, screw that. We're gonna keep playing and we're gonna make this a game. And that's what's been fun about a crappy year, standings-wise. They've won 20 games. They have 51 points. But it's been a fun team to watch. And when you're in the early parts of a rebuild, to have that vibe happening for your fans, and for the young guys in the group, it's a cool thing. And it translates even to the older guys. I mean, if you talk to Tyler Toffoli, he'll tell you, this is fun. I mean, this guy's got a Stanley Cup. He's a veteran player, brought in, signed a 4-year deal, no move, so he could be near where his wife is from in Monterey, near Pebble Beach, so they could finally be in one place past the trade deadline. And he's having a ball playing with these kids. So all that together makes it fun, even though there's no playoffs, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I hear you. Randy Hahn, Sharks play-by-play voice, joining us this afternoon. Jay and I got one more each for you. You're really going to like Jay's question, I think. This is the first time he's had the chance to talk to you. You and I have done this a lot over the years, and I know I always bring this up, but I think the audience likes hearing about it because you know what Edmontonians are like. We got a lot of pride. I know you've spent, over half your life living and working in the States now, but you have strong roots here in Edmonton. So I got to ask you, when you come back and you got a day here, besides us bugging you to do a hit, what do you do when you're back in E-Town for 24 or 48 hours?
Well, normally it's family because my sister was living in Sylvan Lake for probably the last 15 years, and she just recently moved to Fort Saskatchewan. And my mother was in a senior home in Sylvan Lake, moved to Fort Saskatchewan, and we lost her this past December. So it's normally family, get together with them and spend time with them. But my sister's out of town. She's in Cancun on a vacation. So this is that one trip where I could do whatever I want. And I ended up meeting up with a friend who, believe it or not, I hadn't seen for 41 years.
Oh.
And tonight I'm going to get together with some of our traveling crew because, as you know, it's end of season, and by next Wednesday we'll be done. So this is our last roadie. So we're going to have a couple of cold ones and watch the Frozen Four and watch some hockey tonight.
Randy, I must admit, I have two questions. So the first one here is that I see, and maybe this is the person you hadn't seen in 41 years. Maybe it was from this job. But do you do play-by-play at one point for the Edmonton Drillers?
Oh yeah. I was the voice of the Drillers for 2 seasons. Al McCann had been the voice of the Drillers, and he got very busy with CFL on weekends to the point where he was starting to miss too much Drillers for his liking and probably for the team too. So I got an opportunity to do that. And my color guy was Brian Rice. Joe Petroni was the general manager. Timo Liakoski was our head coach. And I was the voice of the Drillers, Commonwealth Stadium primarily, but we did play, I think we played a couple of games at Clark Stadium, made the playoffs one year, did an indoor season as well. And then from that gig, matriculated to doing soccer in San Diego. That was in '82 when I moved there, so I've been there ever since. But yeah, my soccer ties here in Edmonton go back.
Wow, that is impressive. Now, I must give you credit, and this is I don't know how often you get to listen to the Reid Wilkins show, but we like to think of ourselves as wordsmiths here, and clearly you are as well. I saw on Twitter that you used the word aplomb on your broadcast. Someone thanked you on Twitter for teaching them a new word. And I thought that was unique. But see, here on the Reid Wilkins show, at the end of the show, our last segment is a segment called The Word of the Day, where I come up with a word and I give it to Reid. He has to spell it and give the definition for it. So I'm going to put you on the spot here, Randy.
Oh, boy.
As a wordsmith that you are, clearly, I want you to give me the word that I should use today to give to Reid. He's going to, gentleman's agreement, he's not going to look into it. He's not going to, try and Google it. But what word should I throw at Reid today?
Well, does he know aplomb?
He does.
I did know aplomb.
He did know aplomb. Yes, which for everybody wondering, it's self-confidence or assurance, especially when in a demanding situation. So I could see in a hockey game many instances where you could use aplomb. But what, you got anything else in the Rolodex, Randy?
I don't. You put me on the spot here, man. I don't.
That's okay. Aplomb was good. I did know.
It's my first time. It's my first time with him too. I don't want to make him look bad. I'm going to throw the guy under the bus the first time.
Well, text me one if you think of it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but no, that's fun that you roll. Randy, I've been so like all you guys with the Sharks are great. Obviously, I've talked to you a lot over the years, Dan, and you guys all put up with Drew, so bonus points for that. But I'll say hi at the rink tomorrow. I always love seeing you, and I love having you on the show. Thanks for your perspective on the San Jose Sharks.
Anytime, guys, and we love Drew.
There we go. That's Randy Hahn. We'll probably have Drew on the show next week.
Yeah,
Randy's great.
Beauty.
Yeah. So yeah, I've spent time working in Edmonton at CFRN with Al McCann. Part of his growing up years, childhood years, were in Edmonton. And still family in there. Sadly lost his mom a few months ago. That was your first time talking to him. He's awesome.
Yeah, he called the first FIFA Women's World Cup final from Guangzhou.
Oh, I didn't know that.
China in November of 1991. Soccer. Crazy. Yeah, what a great guest, Reid. Thanks for bringing him on. Bryson DeChambeau has inched up. He is not done. He is now tied for second with Scotty Scheffler and Corey Connors.
Oh, wow.
But he's still on the 17th hole, so it could get a little... could get interesting.
It's been a fun opening round to watch for sure.
And Koob chose DeChambeau.
Adam Scott finishing up 5 over par for him. Still using that long putter, right?
Yeah.
You can't anchor it to your body, but it's still up there. Okay, we have the game of the night coming up. We have the afternoon debate. We want more thumbs up coming in on the YouTube stream, please. Let's go.
Click, click, click. Must you click? Please, please click. Must you click? You must click. Thumb, thumb, thumb.
I gotta say, he did get me a word.
Did he? He gave a word off air. Okay.
Way to go, Randy.
Yeah,
and,
perfect.
I spelt it right. I was kind of, he told me the word, and I'm like writing it down. I'm like, what? I've never heard of that word in my life. So it's going to be interesting.
You have to share it with me confidently. Yes. Confidentially.
Confidentially,
Koob. Speak, young man.
Share it anyway. All right. All right, we better get a quick time out here. Koob has a sports update.
Edmonton has made an emergency call-up bringing Cam Dineen up from Bakersfield, loaning Olivier Rodrigue back to the Condors. And the Oilers are back in action tomorrow against the Sharks. Colorado hosts Vancouver. Avs superstar Nathan McKinnon takes the day off to rest an undisclosed injury. And around the league, Utah hosts Nashville. The Ducks and Kings have a date. The Caps and Hurricanes duke it out while Buffalo hits the ice in Columbus on a 10-game NHL slate. And for next month's IIHF World Championship, Penn's general manager Kyle Dubas will serve as Canada's general manager. That kicks off May 9th. And in baseball, the Jays eye up a series sweep of the Red Sox to get 4 straight wins over Boston. Right now it's tied at 2 apiece in the bottom of the 8th. After that, the Phillies and Braves go toe-to-toe. Earlier, we saw the Angels stomp the Rays 11-1. On the court, there's 5 games. Cavs and Pacers tip off the Knicks, and Pistons go toe-to-toe while Memphis welcomes in Minnesota. And at the top 3, as it sits at the Masters right now, Scotty Scheffler and Canadian Corey Connors are both tied for second place at 4 under through 18 holes played, while Justin Rose holds top spot by himself at 7 under. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get donations picked up or drop them off free of charge. Visit findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. The afternoon debate brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Randy Hahn, Sharks play-by-play voice, former Edmontonian, just checked in. Great to speak with him. Oilers and Sharks tomorrow night. Oilers get a point. They're in the playoffs, so that'll be pretty cool. I think they will get a point at some point between now and the end of the regular season and be in the playoffs. Imagine that. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree Resort and Casino inbox. We're asking for a bit of a rally here with the thumb. So I think people exciting game last night. They were up late. Probably watching our Oil Stream pregame show or postgame show with Tom and Hearn. They're a little, what's the word? Logy? Is that the word? Is that the right word? Like just a little, not very thummy today. You got to get in there and click. Let's get clicking, everybody.
Well, maybe they need some help. Maybe they need the Shania Twain.
Oh, I think, we got
You should drop Shania Twain in at some point. Yes. Never hurts. The off-topic topic today was brought to you by William Huff. It was the found something you've lost.
Yeah,
lost
this is a good
and
one.
found story.
That's some good stuff.
Andrea from Calgary. 7 years ago, I bought my husband a Zelda Magna box set. Do you know what a Zelda Magna box set is?
Well, the only thing I know about Zelda is the game Legend of Zelda.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds important.
Oh, you don't know what it is either?
No.
Okay.
Somebody tell us what a Zelda Magna box set is.
Magna?
Magna.
Or do they mean manga? This isn't manga the type of
manga?
A type of art, right? Type of comic art?
Yeah, it's like it's an anime thing. So it's like an anime is a visual
Zelda
or
manga
TV
Is
box
that what
set.
it is? Okay, so that's,
Manga?
yes. That would have been a collection of graphic novels, probably, Coop? Something like that?
That's essentially what
Collected
they are.
editions?
Yeah, it's a complete box set. 10 volumes of the Legend of Zelda Magna series. And a collectible poster. She had bought this for her husband this past Christmas. Our 8-year-old wanted the series. We looked everywhere in the house and finally decided we must have donated the books. So we bought a new set as a present from my in-laws. Fast forward a month later, and I came home one day to find the original books on the kitchen island. My husband found them on a shelf in our furnace room.
Oh, wow.
And I'm convinced I searched at least twice. If they weren't so expensive, I would have thought my husband had played a joke on me, but I completely missed them. Oops. Well, now you got 2 sets.
There you go.
2 box sets is always better than one.
That's quite a story, though. We've had some amazing stories about finding stuff.
A Bootski. Back in the 80s, I used to wear small, hard contact lenses that were fine. aside from being a bit tricky to put in at times. One morning before work, I got the right one in, no problem, but struggled with the left one until I eventually got caught up on my top lashes. Before I could grab it, it blinked and it flew away. Lost his contact.
Oh, jeez.
With one good eye, I hurriedly searched the counter, sink, toilet, and floor, but it was nowhere to be found. I had no choice but to take the right one out, put my glasses on, and get my ass to work ASAP. I made it barely in time. Shortly after I arrived, one of my coworkers looked at me and pointed at my right shoulder and said, "What's that?" There was my missing contact sitting nicely on my shoulder, stuck to my black hoodie.
Wow. That's funny. There's some good stories coming in. The off-topic topic presented by William Huff. Justin Rose leading the Masters, a 765. Corey Connors, Canadian, second place with Scotty Scheffler. They both shot 4 under 68s. It is Thursday, so it is the day for the afternoon debate. Early bird golf memberships are now on sale at the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club with discounts for seniors and first responders, plus special rates for Sturgeon County residents. Enjoy GPS carts and awesome driving range deals. Inside, kick back and enjoy a pint or a pound of wings in their full bar and restaurant. For more info, visit egmgolf.com. All right, here is the afternoon debate.
Just before you go, Reid, Matt from the Garrison, I reached out to him because golf courses are announcing their opening dates. If everything goes right and the weather stays the same, they will be opening a week from tomorrow. That would be Friday, April 18th.
Okay.
So you can get in there now and book your reservations for that date. Exciting. That'll be like our home course.
It will be.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You know who wants to come? Join us? April. My wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's fine by me.
Cool. Who are you going to bring, bro?
Nobody.
Bob?
Nobody.
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 Okay. Coob.
I don't know. I might be able to find somebody.
Sure you could.
Oh, you want me to bring you, Coop?
It wouldn't hurt.
You got to work. You got to be at work.
At what time? I don't know.
I don't know when you start work. You ain't my
I can
business.
skip. If it's early morning, we're good.
Reid and I are going to roll in here at 3:01 with a nice little afternoon glisten,
big sunburn,
and fingers full of chicken wings.
Oh,
yeah.
3:01.
3:01.
No, 2:59.
2:59, bro.
Actually, yeah, would be the time. The afternoon debate for the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Golf Club. So yesterday in the first period, Binnington loses his mind, goes after Corey Perry, and is assessed 2 penalties. Right, he gets 4 minutes in penalties. I'm still not really sure why Corey Perry got a goaltender interference penalty, but anyway, and he set off that whole kerfuffle that led to the fight between Perry and neighbors, all that kind of fun stuff. Oh, Coop's got the video if you're up on YouTube. Keep hammering that thumbs up, by the way, on YouTube. Let's get to 100 by the top of the hour. No reason to delay. Let's get clicking. So I was wondering, where's my sheets here?
Well, so to be clear, Corey Perry got a 5-minute fighting major and a 2-minute penalty for interference on the goalkeeper.
Right, which I'm not sure he actually committed.
And that was matched by Neighbors' 5-minute fighting major and Binnington's 2 roughings.
You know, Binnington technically should have got an instigating penalty, even though he wasn't one of the people who fought. Maybe that's just me. He clubbed Perry. He clubbed him.
Twice. And right off the top, there was no hand up for goalie interference.
No.
When this skirmish broke out. So right there, that's a question mark.
Yeah.
But continue.
So, afternoon debate. Should goaltenders have to go to the penalty box to serve a penalty?
I love it.
Now, here's the thing. You get a minor penalty, you trip a guy in front, you slash a guy. Okay, I get it. You get to keep playing. You take somebody off the ice, they serve it. I printed this up from the NHL rule book. You can get it online. It's rule number 27, goalkeepers penalties. It's got about 2 pages all to itself. Rule 27.2, major penalty to the goalkeeper. A goalkeeper shall not be sent to the penalty bench for an offense which incurs a major penalty, but instead the major penalty shall be served immediately by another member of his team who is on the ice when play is stopped and the penalty is assessed. When a goalkeeper is assessed a major penalty plus a game misconduct, which is coincidental with a major or match penalty to the opposing team, no player is required to serve the goalkeeper's penalties in the penalty box since he has been ejected from the game. And coincidental, so they wouldn't be coming back on the ice till they've been served. Anyway, should a goalkeeper on the ice incur a misconduct penalty, the penalty shall be served by another member of his team who was on the ice when play is stopped and the penalty assessed. So here's the thing. Jordan Binnington could have gone after a ref and been as mouthy as Jeff Skinner was. Hey, you can't do that. That's a 10. Oh, but keep playing, goalie. One of your teammates has to sit up. Like, should there not, if it's a 5 or a 10, but the goalie's not ejected from the game, should he not have to go serve it? I get it with a minor. But if a goaltender, and especially in that case, okay, so Binnington got a double minor, but Binnington in that case is going out of his way, out of his way to get involved in a fracas, right? Oh yeah, I'll just stir all this crap up and I get to keep playing. Or Jeff Skinner has to go sit in the box for 10 minutes. Binnington could have called the ref every naughty word out of the sun, under the sun, and told him he was the worst ref ever to ref in the NHL, and that he's corrupt and that he's incompetent. Hey, Jordan, that's over the line. I'm giving you a 10-minute misconduct. Hey, Jake, you got to serve this for me, buddy. Thanks. Should there not be a point at which goaltenders should have to serve their penalties, their infractions?
I'm all
sit
for
in
it.
The box.
You got a backup goalie. Do it. I think it would be great. And the goalie coming off the bench, no warm up. Nope, you're not getting that as if the starting goaltender was injured. You can get a period to warm the goalie up. Nope, you're going in cold.
Well,
you got a problem with it? Don't take the penalties, or at least a major, because that probably should have been a major last night for Binnington, right? As opposed to double minor.
Well, I don't know about that, but
why?
Well, what
if a player did that? Look what Connor McDavid did to Connor Garland.
He wasn't given a major.
I guess he wasn't.
He was given a match penalty.
Yeah,
he was given a match penalty. Yeah,
that's it. What's the difference between that? He put his glove, from behind. Yet it wasn't even like Corey Perry saw it coming.
Right.
What's the difference?
If a goalie gets a match penalty, he's out of the game, right? But he could just get a major and not be thrown out. In which case, he would just get to keep playing. I think if a goalie gets a major or gets a 10-minute misconduct, he should be taken off the ice. Because you're basically saying you've done something quite unsportsmanlike or quite aggressive or quite over the line. You should forfeit the right. It should hurt your team, right? It hurt the Oilers not to have Jeff Skinner in the game for 10 minutes. So if a goalie were to do something like that, he should have to go sit in the penalty box.
I love it. I just like how weird it is. Well, the thought of seeing a goaltender, chirping a ref on the way to the penalty box, face mask up on top of his head, just yelling, giving the ref the business, sitting in the penalty box with all his gear on. I think the visual is worth it alone. Now, that'll never happen.
Yeah. It was interesting to see, and they showed it, because, I don't watch on TV when I'm at the rink, but there are monitors up there. And Matthew was there and Trevor was there. And I said, didn't something happen? Hasn't something happened with Perry and Binnington? And then I looked up and they were showing the goal the Oilers scored in St. Louis earlier this year. And Binnington was flat on his belly on the ice. And Perry kind of turns and says something to him.
We talked about it on this show.
Yeah.
He was giving him the business then. So there's got to be and there was a history prior to that too.
Right.
These two don't like each other.
Right. Which is fine. But I mean, Binnington goes after him and sets that whole thing off. It's just like, no, Jordan, you stay in the net, buddy. We'll send everybody else to the penalty box. Oh, neighbors had to fight for you. Oh, too bad.
It is an advantage especially for a goaltender like Binnington, who's been known to fly off the handle once or twice in his career.
Yeah. It's actually fine to be a hothead goalie.
Yeah.
Just keep playing.
It's an advantage.
No, don't take any time to calm down in the penalty box.
No, don't worry.
No. You don't have to fight. Everything's fine. My mother just texted me, says they should have to play without a goalie.
Or without a goalie is one thing. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Can you imagine that? Goalie gets a penalty, so it's still 5-on-5 skaters.
But it's just post.
But it's an empty net.
But it just goes to post rules. You got to hit the post to score.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
Big Uke makes a great point. I'd love to see the chaos when the goalie comes out of the box as the major ends, and you have to pull your goalie and then get the goalie from the box to the net.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
That'd be exciting.
But now here a few things out of that though. You saw the Oilers really jump in there, like Nurse especially.
Yeah.
I mean, he came flying in, and then originally Shen was kind of pulling at Perry, and Nurse got right in there. I thought they were going to fight, quite frankly, before the Perry Neighbors fight started. And I wonder if this is all sort of the seed planted by Perry from after that game a couple of weeks ago against Dallas, where he was asked, "Are you guys take good enough care of your goaltender?" And Perry said, "We'll address that internally." I think that can extend to other players being, so if you're an Oilers player, Corey's getting tossed around. We'll just wait to see if Binnington gets a penalty. No, the Oilers players jumped in there. Like Nurse got in there. Nurse pulled Shen out of there. So I think that I hope that's a sign that the Oilers are maybe getting a little more ferocious in that area of the game. And I also want to point out, when Max Jones crashed into Binnington in the third period, no one on St. Louis did anything about it.
True.
So it's not as if the Oilers are the only team that doesn't always have a response. I mean, there are times where teams just say, okay, well, we're going to let it go, or, well, maybe we can't mix this up again. We don't want to risk getting a penalty. But there are times other goalies the other goalies get bumped, and teams don't do anything about it. But I like Perry and the Oilers' response in that moment in the first period when there's still a lot of game left.
Are you surprised, given what had happened earlier in the game, that was not a penalty on Max Jones?
No,
that was pretty aggressive.
Yeah, it was. I think he might have been guided in. I think
the idea was that he was pushed
pushed
in by the defender, right?
But I didn't mind him seeing that. That was one of his better games. That might have been his second best game as an Oiler.
The first one being his first game?
Yes, but I still think he comes out. The entire fourth, once Nugent Hopkins, Frederick, and Draisaitl are all healthy, the entire fourth line from last night comes out. Kapanen, Philp, and Jones. I don't know in what order. Well, probably Philp first.
Probably.
Since he's the guy that was just called up. But that was an entertaining game last night. I thought Nurse played great. I thought Kulak played great. Obviously, McDavid was awesome. Brown with a couple of big goals. That was an encouraging performance by the Oilers. I got some limericks to read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tube Socks writing in. As playoffs draw near, Reid's in bliss because Arvidsson doesn't seem to miss. Jeff Skinner's off the schneid thanks to slick moves and strides. It's hockey that Reid can't dismiss. Pretty good. First time limerick from JD in Veg. I think that's Vegreville. They got a big egg there. Bear with me on this one. The Oilers bring heat on the ice with McDavid and Dry rolling dice. While the Canucks still dream, we're a playoff team. The cup still TBD, brah.
Okay, I think I know what was going on there.
Okay.
I think because we often encourage to be very creative in the final sentence.
Yes.
Almost off the wall. Nothing to do with the limerick.
Right.
But usually it has to still follow the rhythm of a limerick.
Right, which is line 5 rhymes with lines 1 and 2.
A, B, B,
Was JD like being overly clever?
Yes.
Like breaking the formation, so to speak, the structure?
Yes,
on his first try?
I think that's it. And you know what, Reid? I'm going to hand it to him. Well done. You went outside of the cadence, but it played.
Fair enough.
TBD, brah. I mean,
yeah. Well, he referenced the show. And the big uke with the limerick as well. The captain came back, sure was flying. Before he was in, I was nervous, no lying. Lost on the ground, got a vacuum around. Coop's trying to break 100. So awesome, he's trying.
Well done.
Pretty good stuff today. Your limericks or your other emails to read at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, J at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. All right, we have our hopefully words of the day coming up. Keep clicking away. Those thumbs on YouTube. Really slow pace today. I don't know if people are just being pleasure layers or they're tired from clicking earlier in the week. We also have a bit of a mystery on our hand. Jasmine has been kicked out of the nasty chat. And we don't know who did it. It must have been you, Coop.
My name isn't Hernan.
But how
do you know it was Hernan?
Hernan didn't do it.
It says that. I even asked him, and he said, wasn't me.
No, he didn't do it, but it says in the nasty chat that he did it. So we don't know what's going on.
Might need Scooby-Doo.
Well, how can we trust Hernan? He's off on holidays for the next week. He's got nothing to lose.
I just timed her out for 10 seconds. Maybe that'll reset it.
See, on my end, it says message deleted by Reid Wilkins.
It said the same for when Hernan did it, and it said 86,000.
Which is 24 hours, right?
I'm pretty sure.
But Hernan didn't do it. He's not even around. He's getting ready to go on a holiday.
He's in vacay mode.
She's back.
She's back.
There it is. Okay, so maybe I reset the time somehow by changing it to 10 seconds.
The space-time continuum.
There we go. Rip City Step, maybe pocket blocked. I can't. I don't know. We're not sure what happened, but Jasmine is back. Jasmine, it's wonderful to have you back. Okay, what else are we doing? Well, we got to do a break. We got word of the day. Hopefully, we got to get clicking away, everybody. I don't know what the delay is with the thumbs. A little disheartening, but let's get rallying with that. Game of the night coming up. Coob after the break.
The EST Hangout.
I can't call everything my team's way. That's just.
Why don't you just call it like it is?
Sometimes you just don't know.
Down the line, baby.
One for one for the other. But I would always want the sucker.
If I didn't know you.
If I balanced it out there, and that's why if I started with them, even if they'd be like, that's not fair, I'd be like, hey, I called a close one for you guys earlier. I'm fair.
Oh my God. That's crazy that you think that. That's your strategy.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Spin to win Fridays at the Banquet. Every Friday, spin the wheel for a chance to win big and save on your bill. It's that easy. Spin, win, and save. Don't miss out. Details at thebanquetbar.com. The Banquet. Get real. Play hard.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
Cam Dineen has been called up from the Oilers to the Oilers from the Condors on an emergency basis, with Edmonton loaning Olivier Rodrigue back to the AHL. And Dineen has just 25 career games, one of which with the Oilers. He played early last month against the Habs, and there's 3 games about to get underway in a moment. Bruins and Hawks go at it. The Red Wings challenge the Panthers, while Columbus hosts Buffalo on a 10-game NHL slate. And the lone contest in the WHL playoffs has Game 1 between the Hitmen and Hurricanes going down from Calgary. Kyle Dubas has been named as Canada's general manager for the IIHF World Championship. That starts May 9th. And in the top of the 10th, it's tied 2-2 between the Blue Jays and the Red Sox, with Toronto looking to sweep their 4-game set. Basketball has 5 games. Knicks and Pistons throw down, while the Cavs and Pacers have a date momentarily. In round 1 of at Augusta has Corey Connors as the highest-ranked Canadian. He's tied second with Scotty Scheffler at 4 under through 18 holes, while Justin Rose holds top spot at the end of his day, being good for 7 under par. I'm Zachary Kubish. That was your sports update. The final hour of the Reid Wilkins Show starts right now.
Must you click?
There it is, the thumb click remix to give us the thumbs up on YouTube. Almost at 100. Let's rally, get there quickly. See how high we can go today. Jay Milne and Reid Wilkins in the banquet studio. If you are on YouTube, you see the big logo behind us. Mondays at the banquet. Bowl for just $2 all day. Grab your friends, have fun, and start your week right. Get real, play hard. The banquet. How about that? TheBanquetBar.com. Good stuff, Jay. Hooah! Dare I ask, now if you don't want to disclose, that's fine. You said it is your wife April's birthday today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, April. Celebrating tonight, on the weekend, the entire week, the entire month.
You know what? It's one of these things where I brought home flowers last night.
Oh, appropriate.
So when she came
that's
home,
why you were making me cut them and make that bouquet.
Yes, thank you. I got her nibs. She likes nibs.
The mini or
the full length.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
Okay.
By the way.
Here we go. Here we go.
Well, you want to talk about shrinkflation? Look at a bag of nibs, for goodness sake. It is appalling. The thickness of a nib has been cut in half.
Well, I've noticed that a bag of the small nibs is smaller. I didn't think that the licorice length ones...
The licorice length ones...
Are they thinner?
They are disgustingly thin. They are on Ozempic. Ozempic has ruined the nibs.
Your candy is on Ozempic. Doesn't it have another name now? Haven't they changed the name of Ozempic to something else?
I don't
know.
They've taken our nibs from us, Reid. How do you do that? I literally put two of them together last night because when she got home, that's like one of her favorite things. You know, have a nib. She does like O. Henry's too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The chocolate. That's her go-to.
So that's what she's getting today?
No, I got her that all last night. I got her some... She likes some gummies. We don't eat a lot of candy, right? So it's a true treat when it's sitting there and able or available for everyone. I put two nibs together, back to back.
Okay.
And it resembled what would have been an old nib that you and I would recognize from not that long ago.
I don't remember because my mom usually keeps nibs in their house because as you know, I see my parents quite a bit. Sometimes I might be there for a while. Sometimes I might just
You're a
pop
great
in.
son.
Thank you. Well, I try. But I don't keep a lot of junk food in my house. And as you know, especially the last couple of months, I've been trying to be a little healthier, lose a little bit of weight, and I've been moderately successful. I don't know if you've noticed. Probably not. Probably not. But
I have.
But for a little snack for myself, I might grab a little handful of nibs out of the snack cupboard or chips and dip. But I don't keep chips and dip in my house, but I'll take like 5 chips out of the bag, take the dip, and then that's it. But I don't feel like I've noticed. I don't feel that I've noticed the nib size decreasing. I've noticed bag sizes. Okay. Like when you get a bag of chips now, like the individual, they're smaller.
True.
Man, I didn't notice that the nibs are thinner.
And I can't speak for the nib bites, the little package, that are
That's
bite
what I'm
size.
talking about, yeah.
I don't know if shrinkflation or Ozempic has taken them yet. I cannot confirm that. But on your way to your parents tonight, stop.
I don't think I'm going tonight.
Okay, well, on your way home, stop and get a pack of nibs. If you feel so inclined, bring them here tomorrow. We can spread the word of it's terrible.
The word of the nib.
The word of the nib.
I feel like that was the lost book from the Lord of the Rings series. The word of the nib. The nib was like some little creature. What are you?
I'm a nib. You've come into my home.
Oh, I thought this forest was for everybody.
I live under this tree.
What do you taste like?
What are nibs supposed to be? Cherry?
I think cherry.
Cherry-ish.
So anyways, I got her that stuff last night. Tonight, right after here...
I forgot what you were talking about again.
Well, nibs, it's blown me... Like, it's disgusting.
Oh, yeah, April. Do you think April's listening right now?
I don't know. If you are, chime in on the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999, or you can just text me.
Email your limerick for your birthday, for your own birthday limerick, to read at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Right from here, I'm going to... my oldest has handball tonight.
Okay.
So she's got a back-to-back game out at our Drawson, so we're going to go there and watch that. And then from there, I'm going to steal April, and we're going to go grab... just go do some appies. Appies and a beer, chicken wings, nachos, that kind of thing. Just sit around talk, watch the Masters highlights.
That's awesome.
Yeah, chill.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
I love doing the show because we actually planned quite a bit, and then we just wind up doing things that weren't planned. And I enjoy that sometimes we start talking about something, and then to get back to what we were talking about initially that we planned for the show, or to get back to a sponsor read, we have to go back 3 steps.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, we're talking about D. Oh yeah, we were talking about C, but that wasn't what we were started with. Oh no, we're talking about B. Oh no, that's still not the start. Oh yeah, we're talking about A. That's the the Edmonton Curling Club afternoon debate.
Big Maple in the River Korean box. Honey, I Shrunk the Nibs is a great movie.
Good movie. Honey, I Shrunk the Nibs.
I think we're doing the game of the night.
Oh yes, then I want to do. What else do we have in this hour? I don't even know where my lineup is. You think I wouldn't have this many papers?
I believe it's called meandering.
What else? Where's my final hour?
Did I take it?
No. There it is. Okay. Oh yeah, game of the night. And then I got the other thing. That's kind of funny. Well, I think it's funny. Most people might just think it's weird. The game of the night is for play more tables and games.
Play more tables and games.
From ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for, visit Canada's Game Room experts. Locations in Edmonton or Calgary are online at playmoregames.ca. Notice how I went into my reading the live tag voice?
Yes.
From my jokey voice?
It's good. You're a professional.
Play more tables and games.
I've done it before. All right. Well, you go first with your game of the night.
Well, I mean, if you're going hockey, there's 2. There's a Central Conference showdown. Winnipeg's in Dallas. That game's at 6 p.m. But if you're an Oilers fan, you're going to want to be keeping a tab on the score in the Anaheim game as they visit the Kings. That game starts at 8. But in the NBA, there's an interesting matchup. Minnesota is at Memphis. Now, both these teams are in a playoff battle. Minnesota's currently 6th. Memphis is 8th. And the Western Conference of the NBA is crazy. From 4th to 8th, where Minnesota is, it's tight. It's a game and a half difference from Denver, who's 4th, through to Minnesota, who's 8th. So this is going to be an interesting finish to the season. So that highlights that playoff race right there. Minnesota at Memphis tonight.
So you have 3 games of the night.
Yes. Good.
Totally boxing me out of having any.
Yes.
Mine is Chicago, Boston, 2 of the worst teams in the NHL. No, it is. Well, I do think that Jets-Dallas game is pretty compelling. And Anaheim-LA. I guess I have to go with those. I mean, there's other NHL games. To me, it would be a stretch to make any one of them the game of the night. I'll also throw in Carolina-Washington. Let's see if Ovechkin can keep going. Do you want me to start the Ovechkin topic now? Yeah, if it takes longer, we can push Coop's break back.
See, this is. Let me just say this. This is something that you and I both looked at. You mentioned it. I had seen it, and the first thing we said to each other was exactly what It was the same thought.
Okay, so it actually happened yesterday, right?
Yes.
So the Capitals had an open practice for school age kids. You know what? I got the article here. I have like 20 tabs open on my computer. Oh, here it is. So Ovechkin, as everybody knows, has 895 career goals. He's got the record. So they have a practice, an open practice for Arlington public school kids. Okay? 4th and 5th grade students. You notice in the States, they say you're in 4th grade or 5th grade. They don't say you're in grade 4.
Right.
Yeah, they do.
I did notice that.
They do it
because I did some research on this today.
So here's what the article says on NHL.com. How many students were there? Well, 895, of course, to match his goals total. So my mind immediately, there's 2 places you can go. your mind could go to, 895 kids got to get out of school and go watch the Capitals practice, specifically Ovechkin, like 3 days after he broke the record.
Nope.
That's not where my mind went.
No.
My mind went to who was the 896th kid and how did he get the news that he wasn't going to go to the practice? I just imagine the teacher like, okay, 893, Jennifer Barnes, you're going. Kid number 894.
Oh, no.
Andrew Murphy,
Who's
you're going.
896?
Kid number 895. Mark Lewis, you're going. 896. Jablonski, you're not going to practice. You're 896, Jablonski. Step away from the bus. You can't go.
Poor Jablonski. He can't catch a break.
How do you pick 8? Like, what's the cutoff? What's the cutoff
somebody
for the
was left out.
896
Somebody was left
kid?
out.
Some kid really wanted to go and was told, ooh, it's only 895 kids, baby.
Okay, in the District of Columbia, public school enrollment for grades 4 and 5 this calendar year, for 24-25, the start of this year was 7,354 students in grade 4 or 5. That actually means that 6,459 students got left. Got Jablonski.
How is this a nice gesture?
Yeah, I mean, what was the process? How much money was paid here?
The story is how many kids got screwed out of going to Capitals practice.
That's the story.
Probably by some random draw.
That's the story.
That's the story here, everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
895. Well, think about the other 6,459 that didn't make it.
And for no reason that we know of, no good reason, didn't get to go to Capitals practice.
Now, what if there was a selection process? What do you think it would have been?
Well, there had to be something. I don't know it doesn't say what it was. It just says that some of these kids got to go. They quoted Anthony O'Connor, an 11-year-old 5th grader.
Sounds like a name that would have made it. Anthony O'Connor. What about the rest that got Jablonski'd?
Got Jablonski. Jablonski is now a verb. Jablonski, to be left out or unfair in some. Yeah. You often unfairly excluded.
To be not wanted.
Often illogically. To be Jablonski'd. To question your exclusion and to be further ossified as a result.
I think we just found a new word for the show.
Sydney Stringer, a 10-year-old 5th grader, was there. But a whole bunch of kids weren't there. I'm looking at this NHL.com. I'll have to ask Derek Van Diest. He writes for NHL. It has nothing to do with Derek, but I'll somehow scapegoat him for this.
Hey, your colleague wrote this article, bro.
Yeah. What do you got against school kids?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny.
No, of course this is all in jest. I mean,
but I am curious about the selection process.
The process. But I mean, it is, and we talked about it with Sammy. I forget her last name, but she was from the Washington Post last week when he was going to break that record. And I mean, youth hockey registrations have increased 185% since Ovi's rookie season in the DC area.
Really?
Yeah. Massive effect.
Yeah.
Not for that practice.
There's a bunch of kids that are going to hate hockey because they didn't get to go to the practice. All right. If you're taking us in on YouTube, continue to give us the thumbs up. We do have a word of the day for later provided by Randy Hahn. He did text in. No, he accidentally texted to me. Or I don't think we kind of sprung it on him. But I would have spelled it correctly. Okay, I guarantee you I would have, but I have not been thinking about the definition. I'm going to have to just take a guess at it. But I would have spelled this correctly. And I know where he got the word from, and I didn't. Okay, I've said too much. But you'll have to have another word. So we'll do a double word of the day, even if we don't get to all the thumbs that we want. But we still want thumbs, everybody. I don't know what the deal is with the thumbs today.
Don't be a Jablonski. Smash the thumbs.
Well, I think Jablonski's the type of person who would thumb us. Because he'd want some positive approval for something after being left out of so much and given all those technical fouls in that basketball game. All that kind of stuff. By the way, Oilers did not practice today. Leon Draisaitl is scheduled to speak to the media tomorrow morning to give an injury update. Maybe it's going to be that he's playing. I don't know. Cam Dineen up from the farm. You've probably heard the Coob talking about that. So I would expect emergency recall for the defenseman. with Walman out of action. The Oilers played with just 5D last night, and Olivier Rodrigue loaned back to the Bakersfield Condors. It's 5:21. Here's an update.
The Oilers have loaned Olivier Rodrigue to the AHL while recalling Cam Dineen on an emergency basis. Dineen has 42 points in 59 AHL games this season and has appeared in one contest for the Oilers, playing nearly 15 minutes in early March against the Habs. Pittsburgh's general manager Kyle Dubas will serve as Canada's general manager for next month's IIHF World Championship. That gets underway May 9th, and there's 3 games live in the NHL, just one with a goal. Alex DeBrincat has found the back of the net for the Red Wings, giving them a 1-0 lead over the Pens. Elsewhere, the Sabres and Blue Jackets are underway as the Blackhawks battle the Bruins midway through the first. And right now, the Jays are underway against the Red Sox. It's in the bottom of the 10th inning. They're locked at 3 apiece. After that, the Phillies and Braves go at it. In the association, there's 5 games. 2 games are underway. Cavs are down 17-13 to the Pacers. And the Pistons hold the Knicks 15-12. Both games midway through the first quarter. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage Sports Medicine. If your back hurts more than your pride after a triple bogey, it's time for an assessment at Advantage Sports Medicine. Book your appointment today at 780-460-9977 or visit their website at advantagesportmed.ca. The Reid Wilkins Show returns once we get back from the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric.
Luke Gasnick today, who I don't know if he is still wearing his Connor McDavid socks, but he had them on last night.
I truly believe they were prepared to go 11-5, and he looked at that and was like, that's not happening. I was heading into last night thinking it was going to be an ugly one. So it's nice to see him back in there, man. Guy hasn't missed a beat. Obviously looked like the same old Connor we know and love.
The Nielsen Show with Lieutenant Eric, presented by Southport Chevrolet. Weekday mornings 6 to 9, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Strike up some fun at the Banquet Bar. Bowling, drinks, and a great time with friends, where the good times roll. Whether you're here to bowl or just hang out, the Banquet Bar is your go-to spot. Get real, play hard at the Banquet.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
The River Cree Resort and Casino presents Bump and Grind Rewind, May 16th, featuring Drew Hill. With Cisco and Genuine, plus DJ Hartman V. Bump and Grind Rewind. Friday, May 16th at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Get your tickets now at rivercreeresort.com.
Must you click? Click. Must you click?
Thanks, Coop. The afternoon inbox, 780-218-9999 for your text messages, is presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the kitchen restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday. That is from 4 to 10 p.m. Jason Milne and Reid Wilkins with you. Zachary Kubish as your sports update deliverer and technical producer as we take you till 6 o'clock. Our live programming will resume at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every weekday. We're live here at Edmonton Sports Talk. And then tomorrow night at 6:30, the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show with Tom and Hernan as the Oilers take on the San Jose Sharks, looking to nail down a playoff spot. How about this? For the 6th consecutive season. That's nice to say, isn't it? After 10 years. Well, they were 10 years out, 1 year in, and then 2 years out. They said Anaheim's going to be out for 7 straight years?
Yeah, there's some gaps out there for sure. What was it? I was looking. Gosh, I wonder where it was. San Jose's had a rough stretch too.
So the current playoff droughts. Buffalo is at 13, going to be 14, right? Detroit, they're going to be at 9. Ottawa is going to end theirs at 7. Anaheim is going to get to 7.
It's not that bad when you look at it this way.
San Jose is going to get to 6.
Buffalo, that's a tough one.
That's a long time. And they had years they were right down there with the Oilers in the bottom 3 in the NHL. Well, that's how they got Eichel, right? Because the Oilers had the 3rd best draft lottery odds, right? And they went up.
So Ottawa's the team with the longest postseason drought that's going to snap.
That they're going to end it, yeah.
$13 seasons.
You know, remember we had Steinberg on from the Flames radio a couple weeks ago? And what's the problem for Calgary? They've never completely stunk.
Yeah, mediocre.
Now, the Oilers, I'm not trying to defend the decade of darkness because it was pretty bad. I mean, they had other picks before they got McDavid. So who's been good in the last 10 or 15 years? Okay, Tampa Bay. Stamkos was, I know he's gone now. Stamkos was the 1st overall pick. They stunk. Was not Hedman 2nd overall? Because they stunk. Chicago was good for a while. Kane was what, 1st overall? Taves was 3rd, wasn't he? I know they had other good players.
What's the timeline you're going on here?
The Leafs. Just okay. To get good in the NHL, to be a Stanley Cup contending team, you have to stink. Is like the worst thing you can do is to be in the soft middle.
Well, look at Boston.
Finishing 21st overall.
Look at Boston right now. They're going to finish last in the Eastern Conference.
They might as well.
Right? If you're going to suck bad. Be awful.
No, okay, so who...
Vegas has never
Colorado.
Dipped. Vegas has not dipped.
Colorado, Nathan McKinnon, 1st overall.
Yeah.
Cale Makar, 4th overall. So here's my question to everybody. And now I'm just coming up with this sort of off the top of my head. Can you win a Stanley Cup? I guess Vegas maybe would be the exception, but like to win a Stanley Cup, do you have to have multiple, or at least 2 or 3, like top 5 draft picks? Like you can't build around 11th and 14th overall picks. You're not going to get good enough players. You know what I'm saying?
Look at the Oilers. I mean, they're good now.
They don't even have 2 of their 1st overall picks. You know?
Yeah.
No, they got the best one you could possibly get. Then they got Draisaitl 3rd, who's really the caliber of a 1st overall pick. Okay, so who won the cup? Who won the cup last year? Florida. Now, maybe they're somewhat this. So they got Ekblad. Well, they got Ekblad 1st overall, and then they traded for the other 2 guys in the top 4 the year Draisaitl was taken 3rd. So still, they had a 1st overall pick. Okay, Vegas won the year before that, right? Do I have my years right? Vegas would not be in that category. Colorado won the year before that, and they have McKinnon, right? And they have Makar as high picks in the top 5. Tampa Bay won the previous 2 years. They had Stamkos. Now, they made other good picks, but I'm just saying, do you need to draft somebody really, really high to sort of build around? Like, there's your guy. There's your anchor guy.
Well, the next team that's in order there as you're going is St. Louis. That's a bit of a...
So that would be a different circumstance.
A bit of an anomaly.
Yeah.
Capitals.
You could still say Ovechkin. You could still say they had Ovechkin first row.
And
I know it took 13 years or whatever.
Right? Then Pittsburgh.
Well, Pittsburgh drafted. Okay, I'm going to say this. Pittsburgh's run of being terrible was almost equal to the Oilers, because did not the Penguins draft first overall, second overall, first overall, second overall? Because they went. What was the order again? Was it Fleury, Malkin, Crosby, and then because
they had
Stahl
there too. Oh yeah.
Stahl, and they could have taken Taves, but they thought they'd take a player more in the style. I believe that was the order, right? So like the Penguins were quite bad. Now it paid off quicker for them. I know all the people. Oh, the Oilers haven't won anything, Reid. But you know what I'm saying? The Oilers have become, if not a championship caliber team, because they haven't actually won the cup, they become a perennial playoff team, and maybe they will win a cup. Hopefully, they will win one or two with McDavid and Draisaitl. So right, Vegas never did this. Now Vegas made some very smart acquisitions in the expansion draft and just caught fire, and they've been pretty good. But Big Uke said, look at Calgary, Minnesota, kings of mediocrity. I mean, Eriksson Ek, really good player. Oilers might have taken him that year if they still had that pick. But you don't look at, like when we were talking earlier, Minnesota might be the 8th most favorite team out of the West to win the Stanley Cup this year, once we get into the playoffs. Oh, Barkov, of course. Thanks, Jake. See him. Sorry, guy. We did. This is one of the things we actually didn't prepare. But that's where was Barkov third, Jayden? Tell me what, because I sorry, I don't have a photographic memory for every draft. But Barkov was high, or was Barkov second? Jay's looking it up.
Second. Yeah.
Do you have all the Panthers draft picks there?
That year?
No, just historically. It seems to me, and when Tampa Bay was good before, they had LeCavier, right?
Yes.
Other good players.
Marty St. Louis.
So, no, he was not a high pick. But I know what you're saying. So they got...
What year you want?
Ekblad first overall in 2014. Barkov second overall in 2013. Even Huberdeau, if you want to go to there, I know he's not on that team anymore, but he was third overall. So the Panthers had a 4-year run where they drafted in the top 3. Oh, and they drafted Goodbranson third overall. So not all these players were still on the team. So the Panthers had a 5-year run where they drafted in the top 3 4 times. So they weren't good, right?
Yep.
2 of those players were on their Stanley Cup winning team. They traded the other one to get Tkachuk, right? Who who the Flames weren't going to trade unless they got a really good player back. So it seems to me
Bennings turned out to be a pretty good player for them.
The best thing you could do in the NHL is be good for hopefully 10 years
and then
suck for 4 and not just miss the playoffs, suck. And then hopefully build back up again and be back in the playoffs for another 8 to 12 years. And do a better job than the Oilers than building around those. I mean, there's still more than but that, I mean, the hardest thing to get in the NHL is elite players, right? The best way to get an elite player basically for free, as in you don't have to trade anything or spend in free agency, is to draft first, second, third. Now, there's the price for that is the pain of losing and perhaps alienating your fans and all that kind of stuff. Coob, what is this fun fact you sent me?
I saw somewhere that Tyler Myers is the only active player right now in the NHL to have suited up in a playoff game for the Buffalo Sabres. It's been 14 years consecutive years that they haven't been to the postseason. And I'm trying to think of
He
somebody,
played for
right?
the Sabres in the playoffs in 2010 and in 2011. That's a good fact. I can't even remember who the Sabres would have played in the playoffs at that time. But
I don't think they remember.
But I'm glad Jayton put in there about Barkov. Like I'd totally forgotten about that, just doing this off the top of my head.
You want another fun fact?
Yes.
Since the Four Nations face-off, Evan Bouchard is 5th in NHL scoring for defensemen. He's got 20 points in 23 games.
Okay.
So that's 0.87 points per game.
Do you have who's ahead of him?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to guess the big guys. Makar.
First.
Q Hughes.
Nope.
Oh, no, because he missed some games, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hudson?
Yeah, second.
He's good.
Very.
So Makar, Hudson, who else would I be missing?
A young defenseman that stood out at the Four Nations.
Harley?
Yep. And Rasmus Dahlin.
Okay.
So, 5th in the NHL scoring for defensemen. Do you know where he ranks in that same period of time? Now, say what you want about plus minus, but I think in this case it does mean something.
Okay.
Where do you think he ranks in defensemen in that same period for plus minus?
Bush?
Yeah.
3rd.
236th.
Oh, really? Okay.
In the NHL in plus minus at -8. Oh, and there's only 254 to choose from.
Bouchard is minus?
-8.
But he's way plus for the season, isn't he?
Since then, -8.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
But 5th in scoring. If that doesn't define Evan Bouchard in one stat, or a combination of stats, I don't know what does. That's it to a T. Yeah, he's going to... Look what he did last night to Spring Jay Skinner.
What's the sarcastic thing I've said about Bouchard? If some nights he gives both teams an equal chance of winning.
Yeah.
I didn't think Bush was bad last night. I mean, Anaheim, he had some tough moments. I also think the breakaway goal, again, was more on Kapanen than him. I mean, Bush is activating like they're coached to do. I think last night, playing with 5D, playing a good team like St. Louis, still missing a lot of good players, even though you got McDavid back, I tend to look on the positive for last night. And I think a game like last night, I'm not looking to pick apart mistakes or blame guys on the goals against. I'm saying they played a good team. They battled. It was a back and forth game, and they got the win. So I tend to look that, Bouchard, Nurse, and Kulak had to take on even more responsibility than they already have, and they won the game.
Well, it's because you're a positive guy, Reid.
Well, I try.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a 0.0001% chance the Oilers are going to miss the playoffs. Maybe. Yeah. All right.
Well, according to some sites, it's 0%.
That's true. So is San Jose doing the right thing?
Tanking?
Well, whether they're doing it on purpose or not, don't get too good.
Reid,
draft first overall.
I didn't get to ask Randy Hahn this, but I mean, if you're looking towards the NHL draft lottery, and I believe at this point, if San Jose finishes last, which the only competition they would have would be Chicago, they'd have a 25% chance of securing the first overall draft pick, and that would be Michael Schaefer. That is a 6'2" D-man from Erie.
Right.
There's a consensus number on overall draft pick. I talked to Dusty about him earlier.
Yeah.
He saw him at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup last year and said he's a beast. He's not a Makar, but he said he's more like a young version of young Pietrangelo. So can you imagine having Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, and a stud number one scoring defenseman?
They also have Sam Dickinson, who's a defenseman.
Well, that's how you build your team, right? And I mean, this is part of the process. But in the next 5 or 6 years, San Jose could be back up where they, off the mat.
Right. And Will Smith was 4th overall.
Mm-hmm.
44 points in 70 games this season.
Not bad.
Yeah. And Dickinson was 11th overall. Thanks, Coop. And where did they draft? Yeah, they were not as well. They got William Eklund. He was 7th in 2021. I don't know. It's painful to go through that, right? I think okay. Here's another question: is it harder for a Canadian team to do that?
Tank?
Well, be bad for a long time. Even okay, so it went on 10 years in Edmonton. That was awful. It was excessive. But could a Canadian team even say, okay, 3 to 5 years, we got to suck. We got to stockpile top 5 picks, hopefully win a lottery or two along the way, and then we try to be in the playoffs for 12 to 15 years.
Look at Ottawa.
But they never finished last.
But they stunk.
Yeah, they've been.
They were in the mix. They got some draft picks out of it.
Yeah,
right. Now look at them, clinched. They've got a C, an X beside their name. But it would be you couldn't openly do it as a Canadian team.
Well, maybe for a year or two.
It might just happen.
Then you'd wear off the patience, and your GMs and coaches would be getting fired.
It's an ebb and flow. It happens in most sports. Now, will that change? How high does this salary cap end up going? Where maybe you don't have to.
Up for the next few years, right?
Well, you have to take that into consideration too, because then you're going to be able to just go ahead and buy your team. Now, salaries are going to go up too.
Well, we'll see if the championship team this year has a first overall pick or 2 on it. I say or 2 because don't forget about the Nooch. The River Cree Resort and Casino inbox is how you text us, 780-218-9999, presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. We got the Coop. We got our words of the day. Randy Hahn supplied one of them. Here comes the Coop.
Edmonton has made an emergency call-up, bringing Cam Dineen up from Bakersfield, loaning Olivier Rodrigue back to the Condors. Right now, there's 4 games live. David Pastrnak has his 42nd of the season for the Bruins against the Blackhawks. Boston leads 1-0, and Rasmus Dahlin and JJ Peterka have the Sabres up 2-0 on the Blue Jackets, while the Panthers trail 1-0 against the Red Wings. Alex DeBrincat scoring for Detroit. Those games are nearing the end of 20 minutes, and the Rangers and Islanders are just getting underway. For next month's IIHF World Championship, Penn's general manager Kyle Dubas will serve as Canada's general manager. That kicks off May 9th, and the lone contest in the WHL playoffs has Game 1 between the Hitmen and Hurricanes going down from Calgary. Earlier, the Jays fell 4-3 to the Red Sox after Toronto won the first 3 games of their set, and a set between the Jays and Orioles kicks off tomorrow. Right now, the Braves hold the Phillies 1-0 in the bottom of the second inning. On the court, the Knicks lead by 6 points on the Pistons, while the Pacers and Cavs are tied early in the second. Hawks and Nets just getting underway. Toronto and Dallas playing tomorrow. The final segment of the Reid Wilkins Show brings us back on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
Is this North Shore?
Yeah.
Jason Milne's band from what, about 22 years ago-ish?
Yep.
Any vocals on this one? You were the lead singer. What about a North Shore reunion?
Sign me up.
Maybe at the Nasty Bash.
I'd love to.
You could do some Leopard covers?
Oh, we'd love that.
Would you really?
We would.
When you would play other bands' music, what band would you play?
We did a Ballroom Blitz cover, which was good.
Oh, sweet.
That always got people
Crocus, was that the original band
swinging.
that did that?
We did a Billy Idol cover.
Rebel Yell?
No. Oh, we did Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran.
No way. I love that song.
Yeah, whose head we did.
I'm on the hunt. I'm after you.
Smell Like I Sound.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm lost in the cloud.
Remember when they did A View to a Kill?
No.
Oh, you would have been quite small.
I
So,
don't.
because, yeah, I think that was 84. So you were 3. So you probably weren't watching James Bond films. So the lead singer of Duran Duran is Simon Le Bon. So in the video, he looked at the camera and went, Bon, Simon Le Bon.
Well done.
Jode's saying Sweet was Ballroom Blitz. What did okay, Jode, did Crocus, what song did Crocus do? Or maybe they did a cover of it. Okay, thank you. Jode's just put in there. All right. So the people are getting to understand our stream of consciousness here, that we might be partially correct or we're trying to get there. So feel free to jump in and help us. Let's see how many thumbs we can get to. An odd thumb day on YouTube. We have topped 100 though, which is the bare minimum we want to get to.
What do you think of
Make my that's day. Not what I meant to click.
What do you
Sorry.
Dungeons and Dragons.
There it is.
We should do the Tommy remix.
Dungeons and Dragons.
What do you think of this for an off-topic topic tomorrow? We can maybe give the Nasties some homework overnight. And one golf rule you would add and or change.
Okay, that's a good one.
Okay.
So think about this overnight. Consult your golfing friends.
Yes.
A golf rule.
It can be nuts.
Okay.
One golf rule you would add or change. I guess I can't say and or. It has to be add or change.
Yeah, modify. Golf rule you would modify.
Yeah. Like we saw, what was it, Neiman that was in that creek? And he made a great shot to get out of it. His second shot.
The second try to get out, yes.
But I said, you know what would be cool if they added, once a round, you're allowed an underhand softball throw. You can be from 100 yards out if you were downhill and you think you can roll it there.
Right.
But once per round, you're allowed the underhand shot with your hand. Once. And you have to put a flare gun. You have to send a flare into the air. And to notify everybody that you're using it. So it'd be just like, be like a fireworks show.
That is very strange, Jason.
Or a Roman candle.
Even for you.
Even a Roman candle.
That's pretty good. I actually have one that I think, I'll save mine. So something about golf, a rule or something that could be changed, added, modified. But, maybe they could actually do in the PGA or for everyday golfers like us. Most of us, I think. Okay. let's get into my favorite segment most times, our word of the day.
The word of the day with Reid and Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
What do they got to say?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you.
Let's find out.
English, do you speak it? Then you know what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay, we want to go with Randy Hahn's word or first? Or?
Yeah, do his first, because I know how to spell it, but I would have spelled it correctly.
Okay, this is the word that he sent, gave Koob, Sunwapta.
All right, so Sunwapta is Sunwapta. Okay? Now, I believe when he would have been working for CFRN, it was Sunwapta Broadcasting. I think it was the parent company. But I thought Sunwapta was like a proper name. I thought it had to do with like maybe an indigenous tribe or something like that.
Yeah, it's a Nakota Stony word.
It is. Okay, so
But what's the meaning?
But it has a meaning. Okay, so I didn't realize it had a meaning. I am going to say...
I will say this. There are some Sunwapta Falls.
Okay. I'll say a welcoming place. All right.
Oh, you suck.
Turbulent river or radiating waves.
Oh, interesting. Turbulent river
or radiating waves.
Oh, so falls. That was your hint that I didn't pick up on.
Second word of the day, cherry.
Well, we're not even talking about that? The Randy Hahn gave the word of the day?
I think it's fantastic.
But it was Sunwapta Broadcasting.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay.
I remember that.
Okay.
Sunwapta Broadcasting.
Cool.
Cherry.
What?
Cherry.
The word of the day is, the one you're giving me is cherry.
Cherry. But it's not the obvious.
So it's not the fruit.
It's one of those English words, Reid.
Okay. It is one of those English words, and it's pronounced cherry.
Cherry.
I am noting... wow. It's probably...
This is an adjective.
Cherry. So just to clarify, you are pronouncing it the way the word Cherry is pronounced.
Yeah, here, listen.
Okay, I'm going to say Ceri. I
can't take it anymore. Chary. Cherry. Yeah.
Where did that come from? That was good.
I got it locked and loaded, baby.
Chary. Okay.
The director is cherry about spending money.
Eager / almost reckless.
I've always been cherry of traveling alone.
Oh, so it's like reluctant then.
I'll give you a half
/ worried.
It describes someone who is cautious about doing something.
Wow. Okay. We'll have to try to apply that in our everyday conference. That was good. I did not know there was another pronunciation and spelling for a word for cherry. Or I guess not pronunciation, another spelling.
Were the Oilers a little too charious with the return of with keeping Connor McDavid out of the
perhaps. Yes, perhaps. All right. That was good. Fun show, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Always love to have you on board here with Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Live programming resumes.
Oh, sorry, Coop. Right at you.
At 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show. Leon Draisaitl is supposed to take questions from the media tomorrow morning, so we'll keep you updated once that starts happening. We're back at 3 tomorrow afternoon. On behalf of the Coob and the Glue Guy, I'm Reid. Have a good night.